You are now listening to the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
What happens when the brain trust of Antenna Releasing and Deaf Crocodile join forces to create a space catering to the most ardent physical media-focused cinephiles? Adventures in Analog. That's what. A brand new physical media fulfillment center, video storefront, and microcinema located in Lee Summit, Missouri, just outside of Kansas City in the Kansas City metro area. The back room of the facilities will consist of a fulfillment center for all Deaf Crocodile and Antenna Releasing titles and merchandise. The front will consist of a physical media lover's dream. Discs galore, merchandise, film ephemera, and a microcinema where we'll be showing some of the coolest titles from Antenna Releasing, Deaf Crocodile, TerraVision, New Wave Video, and more. It's your one-stop shop for celebrating your love of film with folks who get it. If you are looking to help support, the time for that is now. We are currently running a Kickstarter campaign until the end of August to raise startup costs to make the space amazing. We have perks on our campaign that you can choose from that will be able to get you one-of-a-kind items like autographed original pieces of art, your name emblazoned on a wall, your ability to name a chair in the microcinema, and so much more. Check out the perks today and donate if you're able. Hello there, and welcome back.
What is this place?
Disconnected.
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 Disconnected. Disconnected.
Disconnected.
Disconnected.
Disconnected.
Disconnected.
Disconnected.
Disconnected.
Disconnected.
I'm starting to feel disconnected.
You have reached a number that has been disconnected.
Hey-o, everybody. Welcome to another Thursday Live Reconnected with, I feel weird saying Krit Pick Productions, but my dear friend Brandon from overseas. Hello, middle of the night where you are.
I think that's the first time you've ever actually said my name.
It is, and before I didn't know if we were keeping that a secret or not, so I call him Christopher just because that's hilarious to me. So that's why it's on the screen like that.
I feel like I've just been doxxed. Hey, real quick, you know when that intro was playing, by the way, could you see me? I felt like you could see. Yeah.
Oh, I definitely watched you walk back there and dance a little bit.
Yeah, that was a rush. Yeah. I was like, all right, he's gonna ask me. I need to go and get like the shit I picked up. I've missed a bunch for sure, but I was like, these are semi-recent.
Yeah.
So
recent as in like the last 11 months. I get that.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Hello to everybody in the chat. We got a lot of good friends tonight. Zach is here to watch you tonight. Zach, hello.
Yeah.
We got Josephine here saying, watch Secret of Kells, Excalibur, Jason the Argonauts, Mr. Vampire recently. That Excalibur 4K looks beautiful. Wanted to shout that out. Watch Schenectady, New York recently. You're a Philip Seymour Hoffman fan, if I remember right, correct? Pretty much everybody is. No? Do you hate him?
I mean, like, yeah, but like, I wouldn't say it. I wouldn't go around going like, yeah, I fucking love Philip, you know. But
you should. Everybody should.
But like, when he's in a movie and I'm watching, I'm like, oh yeah, great performance.
That's like the most sad approval of a Philip Seymour Hoffman performance.
He's great, but like, if I'm listing like my favorite actors, I don't think I'd come up with him.
All right. We got a Bjork Shandy. If this is who I think it is, everybody should go listen to the Pink Cat podcast. Some great listening there. It is. Let's see. Lots of friends tonight. Evil Ash says, oh my gosh, it's the Krit guy.
It is.
Can't not recommend Excalibur. Is that an approval? Interesting. Well, it's been a long time since you've been here, and your channel's been semi-dark as of ages. What's been going on in your life lately?
Do you know what's interesting is absolutely nothing. I'm just double checking. The last video I had was 4 months ago, so everyone go and watch that. But yeah, genuinely nothing. I've been writing a bunch, I guess. But then I'll stop doing that because the World Cup happened, and because I'm a Euro bro, I care about that stuff. But otherwise, really, nothing exciting at all.
Nothing exciting at all, eh? Yeah, you got that. You're getting engaged to your fiance now. You've got a book freaking fully written. It's pretty exciting.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it's good though. So like, it's not that exciting.
That's more than
it's
most
the
people have
first
written.
draft. It's a first draft that I think is good, and my fiance thinks is good. But she's sleeping with me, so I don't think she's technically unbiased there. So it's hard to gauge.
Yeah, I get that.
I read a lot of books, though. I do read a lot of books, and when I read my book, I go, "This reads like someone's first attempt at a book." So, at least it is what it is.
Well, and the big question, which I apologize in advance for pissing you the hell off, but how on the scale from shit to Stephen King, how Colleen Hoover is it?
Oof. Not quite Sarah J. Maas.
Okay,
Is where I'd put it. It's passable.
it's passable, which
It's passable.
better than many Colleen Hoover novels, from what I hear.
Yeah, I think if like you're British, you'll like it a bit more. But
Is that just because of all the extra U's on the word color?
No, I have like the main character is really based kind of like on me and people I knew when I was a teenager, and
Nice.
all of the places are and the things that they watch and see and talk about feels like very UK 2010s. Yeah.
Sounds about white. My friend Stan Geezy wants to know what your book's about.
Fucking me too, man. The basic premise, because I'm writing a second one now while I'm sitting on this first draft of the first, but the first one is about this kid who lives in Wolverhampton, which is where I'm from, and there's a abandoned pub, and that everyone knows about because it's apparently haunted and all of this stuff, and his friend who wants to be a photographer, and this girl that he likes all decide to like break into there to do like an urban like photography shoot. But then they find out that the pub isn't exactly haunted, but more so contains things from a different world that ends up taking them into that world. So they're stuck there and they need to get back without dying. So there's like a lot of horror in the first third, and then it kind of blends more into fantasy, and then horror fantasy. And, yeah.
Nice.
That's the first one, anyway.
I am into it. I like it. Other than the World Cup, it's not been a great movie watching time for you. You've been very much in a lull, and one thing I wanted to spring on you is just to say to everybody like how normal that is. This is absolutely not something that you have to feel bad about. People go in and out of being super devoted to film and certain hobbies all the time. So in your estimation, is it burnout? Is it boredom? Is it other things exciting? What are the thoughts on the period without movies?
Well, it's hard. I think honestly, it's in tandem with my channel. In 2024, yeah, we're in 26 now, aren't we? In 2024, I rounded out that year at 650 movies exactly. And then last year was like nearly that. It was like high 500s or early 600s. Yeah. And by the end of last year, I couldn't do it anymore. I looked at my highest peak and it was like 21 movies in a week.
Wow.
Or whatever. And it was just a lot. And I was doing a lot of that for my channel to do like, I did a video where I watched every Denzel movie, so then instantly that's like 55 movies you've got to watch.
That's a lot of movies.
Yeah. And because I was doing them like twice a week and then to once a week, I was like, right, I want to get the Denzel video done this week, but it's going to be like a 2-hour video or whatever, right? So I need to see 55 movies this week to just even get that done. And then it's the writing, the editing and all that stuff. So I just really got burnt out with watching movies, so I'm like significantly lower this year. But it has allowed me to kind of like step back, and evaluate what movies I actually do really love and don't. So my top 100 has changed quite drastically in the last couple of months. I took out so many movies, like big ones that I still love, like The Irishman, The Social Network, like all of these movies that like I know I love, but in this moment where I'm not watching, fucking hundreds of movies every year, I'm not sitting around thinking about The Social Network or The Irishman. I'm thinking about other movies, so I wanted to put those in instead.
Interesting. I'm quite curious to see the list, but we're not covering that tonight. One thing we are covering tonight, after all the announcements and all that stuff, Krit and I, if you've watched any of the episodes with him on before, we always have, first off, very long episodes because we go pretty deep on some of these films, and we had kind of been exhausted, and I'm hoping that the topic tonight can reinvigorate some love for some of these films. And we were tossing ideas back and forth, and the thing that we came up with is the scariest films of the 2000s. Now, very subjective topic, but why did we want to go with the scariest films of the 2000s, Mr. Christopher?
Because you suggested it, and I was like, that sounds good. By the way, if anyone has not been on the show, Ryan is not professional. Months ago when we scheduled this, we had an idea. We both forgot what the idea was.
Yep.
So it was like, okay, we quickly need a new idea. And he was like, I haven't spoke about horror in a while. Do you want to talk about horror movies? And I was like, yeah. That works. And then
was it in response to something you said, at least? It wasn't just out of nowhere. We had a couple other ideas, and
it might have been. It might have been. Ryan made his list like 5 minutes before this went live. By the way,
that's not true. I have had titles for a long time. Come on. I remembered a title. I remembered a title 5 minutes ago.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, tonight, after announcements and all of that stuff, we are covering Scariest Movies of the 2000s. So it's a long time. It's 26 years. There's going to be a lot of films from all kinds of different genres. But the biggest, I think the most interesting part of the conversation is discussing why they're scary for us, or why they were scary, or why they are sticking out in our mind as scary, which, as horror movies, I don't know about you, I'm really tired of people online, rating a horror movie badly, saying, oh, well, it's not scary. What?
Do you know what you're doing here? Because you do like that is like one of my it bothers me so much. Like that horror is just like the scary genre, right, and that it's only worth something if it's explicitly like making you terrified. First of all, you're an adult. Right. Grow up. No one cares. No one. No one
less than
on the entire planet is impressed that the movie didn't scare you. No one's like, really? You weren't scared? No way. No one's doing that. Zero people, right? It's okay. It's okay for a movie to not scare you. What are its values though? Like, what was it attempting to do? Did it do it?
Yeah.
Don't get me.
So we are going to discuss what makes us scared, why films are scary, the medium of film as a terror delivery device, and more after all of the announcements. But let's go into some recent stuff. What have you been attempting to watch or watching lately?
Oh, do you know what? Actually, I've recently watched more movies than usual for this year, because I've been watching a lot of Steven Spielberg movies.
Okay.
I know. I don't really know why. It started with War of the Worlds the other day. I wanted to show my fiance War of the Worlds. And then I was like, oh, she watched, what's his new mediocre one? Disclosure Day. And she liked it. And I was like, oh, cool. Let's just watch all the Spielberg alien movies then. So then we watched Close Encounters of Their Kind. And then we watched E.T. today. Yeah, so doing a lot of Spielberg. I'm going to watch Jaws tomorrow. Not quite Alien, but we ran out of Alien stuff with Spielberg.
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty okay as a filmmaker. I get it.
Some say, he's got
A few have said he's going to make it someday. That sounds fun. I am more than thrilled to be able to share. Last night in a theater, I took my kids and my wife to see the Deaf Crocodile released film Legends of the Sacred Stone. This is a Budochai glove puppet film made in Taiwan back in 2000, 2001, something like that. And man, watching 100-minute long movie that is a wuxia martial arts movie only starring puppets is wild to see in a theater. I mean, first of all, the sound being so immersive in a wuxia movie already is like super entertaining, but with it just being puppets and watching everybody like fully enveloped by just these little arts and crafts that people put together and made look amazing. I fell in love with that movie. It is so damn fun in a theater, and watching what they were able to create is wild. I fully recommend people check that out. Got to do the intro for that film. We did a little giveaway here in Kansas City. It was a blast. Good movie.
Two things. One, send me the link to the letterbox so I remember to watch that. And two, do you ever think about how, like, what you just said, you're the first person to ever say that? Like, to put those words in that order with ever, like, there's only a couple original sentences left, and those were a few of them.
Probably. Stan caught on to me saying terror delivery device, and it seems like that was a new vocal stim for him. Yeah, I enjoyed it. I had a good time. And yeah, Legends of the Sacred Stone looks great. And funny enough, it's like not necessarily a sequel, but it's a partner film. We get to talk about it as our first announcement tonight. So we will talk more about Budochai Glove Puppets soon. What about pickups? Have you been buying any physical media, get anything in that's exciting lately?
Well, yes, I have. I came prepared. Totally wasn't grabbing these while the intro was going on. Okay, so we got do you know what? I might as well actually just put like 3 of these together. So, sure. It's because I bought them all at the same time. When Rob Reiner died, I have like 5 or 6 Rob Reiner movies in my top 100. And I realized I owned basically none of them. Ooh. So I went out and I bought 3. So I bought the 4K for A Few Good Men, which is my favorite
good moments
drama of all time. Love that movie.
Superbly written.
I imported the Criterion of Pan's Labyrinth because it's a very, very beautiful cover. And the Criterion for The Princess Bride.
Just watched that recently with my kids.
Yeah, I after he died, I watched this like 4 times, as well as When Harry Met Sally and Stand By Me. Stand By Me, that's one I forgot to grab. The Stand By Me on 4K over there, by the way, as well.
Yeah, Princess Bride, perfect movie. Like, there's so much about that movie that should not work, including fucking Andre the Giant just being such a weird character. And then
he's so good.
You watch it, and it could not have been done any better. It is literally the perfect performance for that.
I wrote a video about Rob Reiner, like after he died, about like how he has the greatest directorial run of all time, in my opinion. Yeah, and you know what the run is. And yeah, just everything is like so pivotal and important to his genre and a cornerstone, all that stuff. So yeah, love that guy. And then I've got the 4K of Resident Evil because this movie absolutely bangs. I fucking love this movie so much. I watched all of them with my fiance recently.
Nice.
And pretty much all of them are awful. But we both really like this first one, so yeah, it's great. And then the Studio Canal of The Devil's Backbone.
Oh, I wanted that release. Nice.
Yeah, I got this to accompany the Kronos one because I bought the BFI like Kronos thing, and they sit like pretty close together on the shelf, so that's nice. The book I'm writing now, which isn't the one about the haunted pub, is it's slightly inspired by this, and it does get mentioned in the book quite a bit. So I wanted to to rewatch this at some point.
Nice.
Then Dogma, the 4K of Dogma, because I've been showing my fiance all of Kevin Smith's movies.
Happen to have mine right there. Oh, and
who's that signed by?
Kevin Smith.
Oh, get fucked. I'm gonna chuck mine in the bin. It's fine. And I got the 4K steelbook of The Long Walk.
We did not. I don't think we get to talk about that one last time. Had that come out last time we talked? No. How'd you feel about The Long Walk overall? You own it, so I think I know the answer.
I own it, yeah. So, I love it. It's not a secret. I'm a big Stephen King guy. It's really annoyed me that you spoke about Stephen King on this show.
That was with Zach, right?
Yeah, it was with Zach, and I was really, really jarred by that because we had scheduled to. We were scheduling one, and then I was like, "Oh, have you ever spoke about Stephen King?" And then he was like, "I literally did that last week, and I wanted to kill myself." So yeah, I have a massive Stephen King book collection and stuff, and I think this is genuinely the best possible outcome of a Stephen King adaptation. It takes what works, leaves what doesn't. It's such a true adaptation, whereas I feel like too many things are trying to are stuck on translation. Some things that work in the book just don't work for the screen, and vice versa. And I think they do a very good job at shifting those things around. And also because The Long Walk novel or novella, it's quite short, so I don't know what it counts as, but it was written when he was very young and juvenile.
Yeah.
And it reads that way. It does read that way. And I feel like the movie does a good job at kind of cleaning that, because you don't have to engage with the actual text of it.
Jeff Crocodile wants to know if it comes across better than Misery compared to the novel.
Misery's a tough one. So Misery's in my top 100 movies. I love Misery. It's my favorite Stephen King adaptation, I think. But I think the book still exceeds. The movie does a great job at taking the important keystones and moving it in, and they even add in the narrative of the police, the local sheriff or whatever. That's not in the book at all, and they were clever enough to know that the movie kind of needed a secondary plot going on to excite audiences, which the book didn't really need. So it's good in that aspect, but I still think the book outperforms the movie. Whereas The Long Walk, I do think the movie outperforms it by quite a lot.
Wow. Well stated. Stan wants to know if you've read Monsters in the Archives.
I have not.
Seems like something that you should look up.
I will. Do you know? Okay, so I don't use Google anymore. Sorry, I don't use Google anymore. I use DuckDuckGo. But I don't. This is so irrelevant. But I don't know whether I say I'm going to Google this anymore, or do I search something? Do I DuckDuckGo something? You know, but that sounds stupid. So I don't know. I don't know what to say anymore.
That makes sense. Makes sense. All right, my pickups, so that we can get into our announcements for the week. I got a handful here, a couple that were sent in, one that I've been waiting on for a long time. I've not been able to watch this yet. This is actually from your neck of the woods. This is the UK release of the Interview with the Vampire show, season 1 and 2. Have you seen the show at all?
I have.
I remember you liking it, if I remember right.
It is excellent.
Wow, really?
Excellent.
Okay.
I haven't seen the new Vampire Lestat show.
Yeah.
Where I don't really know what's going on with that. I have too much going on in my life to try and figure out what the fuck's going on with that. But I had showed my fiance the movie first, and then we immediately after began watching the show, and it is so incredible. It's really good.
All right. Almost on the same page as Interview with the Vampire. Tetsuo the Bullet Man. From other
Basically the
films.
same thing, really.
Yeah, it's a romance movie from what I hear. This one, not one that I would have purchased, but I'm kind of curious if I can show this to my kids. I got sent the DVD of the Hungry Hungry Hippos movie. That was a real sentence I just said.
DVD as well. Like, I feel like that's just rubbing salt in the wounds. Like,
It is. But the funnier thing, I don't think it even got a Blu-ray. Like, this is the best version of the physical media for this film.
you know, respect for them for even trying to get it out on anything. So, yeah,
True.
That's fine.
True. Okay, the last three I know that you're going to be into at least somewhat. Did you get a chance to check out Epic, Elvis Presley in concert? Baz Luhrmann 4K. Yeah, neither did I. I've heard this actually is really good. I'm not really an Elvis person, but wanted to see if the hype was there. One that I'm quite curious, especially with your taste, how you felt about this. Saw this earlier at a festival, and then I actually went back to the theaters to see it again because I thought it was pretty great. Hokum, out on 4K now. Did you get to see Hokum?
Hokum. Yeah, I fucking love Hokum. Hokum's great.
Nice. How do you feel about Damien McCarthy? Have you seen all of his stuff?
I haven't seen Caveat.
I have not seen either of the first two films.
So I am a big Oddity guy. Very big. When I watched Oddity, it made it into like my top 20 or something of the year. And then it was one of those movies that like I made everyone that I know that watches horror watch it.
Yeah.
I had like my friend come over just so I could watch, like just so I could show him that movie. So then when I found out Hokum was coming out and it was the same dude, I was like, oh, because, you know, he's got a better budget, bigger actors, all this stuff. And I was like, oh, that's great.
Yeah.
So then, yeah, I went to go and see it in the cinema by myself.
It's a good time. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I thought it was very well acted. Adam Scott was great.
Oddity's better, though. I'll give that.
It's better. Interesting.
You should check out Oddity.
And just to make sure I'm not confusing myself, I remember like a handful of people saying you're going to love the tent scene. Is that from that movie?
Yes.
Or is that from... Okay. I was trying to remember if that was Caveat or that one.
I'd be concerned if someone told you that, though.
Okay.
You'll see.
Well, now I'm curious. This next one is one that I pre-ordered last summer and finally released. This was a Kickstarter project. Got in Riverbend on 4K from Real Black Renaissance. This is a brand new restoration. Incredible release. First time available since 1990. All approved by Sam Furstenberg, the director of Breakin' 2, Electric Boogaloo. Incredible movie with Steve James. Saw this on YouTube a couple years ago. I'm so ready to see this restored and on the TV and everything. But my goodness, great looking first release from Real Black Renaissance. And what's really cool, they sent a postcard for Riverbend. Speaking of signatures, also signed by Sam Furstenberg, the director, who is amazing. Cool. And yeah, I love that they did this. Michael Dennis is incredible. Stoked that he was able to do this. Craig, who's in the chat, actually helped with the restoration on this a little bit, somewhat, I believe. So thanks to Craig at Deaf Crocodile for everything. And yeah, Craig. Just remarkable the amount of work that went into this. Fantastic release. And that, I mean, for most people in the chat, I hope you know this already, won't be the last Kickstarter we're talking about tonight. We will bring up more of that later at some point. What's funny is I think, I was about to say, I don't think Krit has any idea what got announced this week. So that will be exciting to reveal and see
Not a clue.
In person. Everybody's like, how do you not know? Remember, he is in the UK and does not give a shit. I
also like...
else?
I don't pay attention to nothing. I don't know what the fuck is going on ever.
It's true.
I didn't know the Odyssey was out until the day after.
The Odyssey is out? I'm just
apparently, so they say.
All right. Well, anything else you want to cover before our announcements? You got an upcoming video you want to hype up?
Yeah.
How many scripts for videos did you write before going on this hiatus?
I have about 4 videos written.
Have you read them recently? Are you still excited about the ideas?
No, I think they're good. Like they're good scripts. I it's effort to make a video. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Travis is noticing that you've been missing in action from our Discord.
I am. I think I'm actually technically KIA. I don't think I'm in there.
KIA. You booted yourself. Nobody else booted you.
I did. I took myself out from a lot of Discords because I was just trying to get more offline.
He was trying to pay attention just to the World Cup, and it worked.
I mean, it's true. It's true. I did see every game, so...
All right, let's cover some announcements so that we can get to the scariest movies of the 2000s. So first up, like I said, sort of the partner film to Legend of the Sacred Stone. This is Demigod, The Legend Begins, which this came out a couple decades later. This is from 2022, coming out from Deaf Crocodile, and it is shipping at the end of August. This movie looks just as good as Legend of the Sacred Stone, which means I'm quite excited about this one. Love that they are doing more of these. And again, if you've never seen a wuxia film, these are actually quite like spiritually necessarily deep into the tropes themselves. Watching it on a big screen was truly magnificent. Are you into wuxia films at all? Are you a big fan of those?
I love wuxia movies.
Nice.
I think that's so cool. One of my favorite movies is A Chinese Ghost Story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's just like a wuxia movie meets The Evil Dead.
Yeah.
It's so perfect. So yeah, love wuxia.
On this, we got part 2 of a new video interview with the director, Chris Wong. We get a new audio commentary by the puppeteer and filmmaker Ben Wolf. We've got, Ben Wolf Page, the associate editor of the Puppetry Journal for the Puppeteers of America. We've got a new visual essay by Evan Chester. We've got the original trailer and 6 making of featurettes. Trailers for the production company's TV series, Peely Fantasy War of Dragons and Peely Fantasy Doom of Dragons 2. And then in the big slipbox version, which of course is made to have the art match the first film entirely. So you put the 2 boxes together and it makes one long scene, essentially. That's got brand new artwork by Richard Cox, a 60-page booklet with a new essay by Rupert Bottenberg and Walter Chow in there as well. You can pick it up now and pre-order. And here's the back of the box, which is also just ridiculously beautiful. Yeah,
very nice.
Check it out. These movies are wild, and if you think, oh my gosh, a puppet movie, I'm not going to watch that, you truly get lost in it. They are so well done, it does not feel at all like a puppet movie. It is truly just like a full-blown wuxia film. I did send you the link for Legend of the Sacred Stone, Krit, but you might want to check this one out.
I have it open.
Well. Nice. The other one that comes with Demigod, if you order both of the new Deaf Crocodile titles. Next up is Hype Ka from 2020, the animated cat film, because that's the first one that Deaf Crocodile's ever done, at least in the last month. They have released many animated cat films at this point, and this one, if you have never heard of this one, this is a 73-minute long movie from 2020 from one of the most inventive and irreverent voices in Filipino and world animation, director Avid Leongren, who's also doing the upcoming Zaza's Eterna, that's how you pronounce that one. The utterly delightful Hype Ka is inspired by the beloved telenovela genre of romance melodramas. Nympha is a perfume saleswoman kitty in Manila who receives a prediction from a fortune teller that she'll fall in love with 2 men, dogs, simultaneously. One is her longtime boyfriend, likable but unambitious canine, janitor Roger. The second turns out to be high-powered top dog, literally, executive Inigo, who sweeps her off her paws and forces her to ask what's more important, love or wild hot sex and lots of bling. Featuring an irresistible style that's both retro and Cartoon Network modern, this film is one of the few Filipino animated films both made in the Philippines and about its life and culture. This has a 48-page illustrated book with new essays by Walter Chow and Rupert Bottenberg as well. New commentary by Avid Leongren and co-writer, co-producer Manny Angelis. We got a new visual essay by Celeste de la Cabra. Shout out Celeste. We've got a new video interview with the director, Avid, as well. 6 short films by Avid, which, my goodness, these short films, one of them will literally ruin your day if you are a fan of animals. Warning now, but they are incredibly interesting, and you should watch them. They are wild. There's a teaser trailer on here for Zaza's Eterna and rare concept artwork. And, how do you feel about Filipino hot cat sex animated films?
Well, I've been a fan for a while now. and this has been on the radar, and I've just been looking for a very well put together release, and here it is.
It is quite literally the best release this will likely ever get. So if you're into it, check it out now. Available from all kinds of retailers. Next up, little film called Manhunter, getting a 4K and Blu-ray dual format release in the UK from Studio Canal. At some point, the rumor is right now the second or third week of October. We'll find out a date soon specifically, but there are all kinds of rumors swirling about this one and wanted to shed light on a couple of them. The first is that it looks like the runtime on the final cut is the same as the director's cut, I believe. So it's likely that that's just been semi-tweaked with a little bit. It looks like the colors and the audio has been tweaked with. I'm not sure if anything was taken out. There's all kinds of people saying this has been censored by Michael Mann to remove racist language and things that are deemed sexist. No, there's nothing out there that says that that's the case right now from people that actually worked on this. So just give it time. In fact, what this says is the final cut enhances the film's depth, visual clarity, and sound, offering audiences the ultimate immersive version. If you go after this 4-disc set, it includes the original soundtrack exclusive to this release. So if you want that CD, this is the way to get it. A 100-page booklet in a studio release from Studio Canal with new essays, new and original artwork posters, new interview with Michael Mann, new interview with Brian Cox, new restoration featurette on restoring this, and all kinds of archival extras. Now, currently, we don't have any word on any other releases around the world, but you know, at some point, somebody else is likely to release this. I could definitely see Imprint doing this in Australia. No word on the U.S. Last I heard, this was still with Fox. Scream Factory obviously put this out years ago, but that has long been out of print. I would not be surprised if Lionsgate Limited had access to this now, or just nobody. If Fox has it still, we're likely not getting a release on this. So just... if you really need this release, you might want to get this one and not necessarily hold out for another one in the U.S. How do you feel about Manhunter, sir?
Manhunter's sick. Finally, yes. A movie I know. I only know movies that have 500,000 logs on Letterboxd. Yeah, no, it's great. It is better than... Is it Red Dragon?
It is better than Red Dragon, yes.
Yeah, Red Dragon's like... I'm trying to, like... The names are all stupid. It's the
This is Red Dragon,
isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, it's far better than Red Dragon. Brian Cox's Hannibal Lecter is so interesting.
Yep.
In the way that, like, it feels like an actual guy. You know, it doesn't actually feel like a... Like, Anthony Hopkins is so stellar.
Yeah.
As Hannibal Lecter. But I think he's stellar as Hannibal Lecter because, like, he can blend between this high society respectable man into someone that just feels fucking alien. Like, just a skinwalker that's trapped in a cell. Whereas, like, Brian Cox's performance feels like very much like a real evil. Like an actual kind of human being, a Fred West or... something to the like. So yeah, it's really good.
It is.
And also it's beautiful, obviously.
It is beautiful. The visuals in this movie are stunning. The wheelchair scene specifically is one that will sear into your brain for ages if you've never seen this, which understandable if you haven't. This has not been super easy to see for quite some time. Give it a watch if you get a chance, because it is just truly a completely separate film from Silence of the Lambs. It's just odd that we got two very incredible Thomas Harris films surrounding the same storyline within a matter of, 6 years or 5 years or whatever. That's just wild.
And do you know what's most impressive about that, by the way, is that Harris sucks as a writer. He's not... his books are just, like, fine. But they're like really schlocky and weirdly put together. And it just so happens that two separate people elevated that material to such great lengths.
And that's the thing. Like, if Silence did not exist, we would be looking at Brian Cox and being like, that's just one of the best villain performances of all time. Yeah. It just so happens to be that Anthony Hopkins somehow, with less screen time, is somehow better and that alone overshadows it and makes Brian Cox disappear entirely.
Yeah, he's just a different class of actor, though. He's just like on a different level.
Yeah. What's crazy though is imagine Brian Cox doing it like 10 years ago now. He probably could have got semi-close.
Yeah, I feel like the problem with Brian Cox, he doesn't care anymore.
No,
You know, like
that's his brand.
he's one of those actors that has like the ability, I think, to be like an Ian McKellen level actor. He just doesn't want to be, so he isn't. He just doesn't care to do it.
Well said. So true. Next up, a movie that I had never heard of before Kino announced this. On September 29th, they are releasing a 4K and Blu-ray release from their Kino cult line of the movie called The Clown Murders from 1976. And yes, in the center of that art is the one and only John Candy in a horror movie from 1976. This is supposedly pretty not good, which doesn't shock me necessarily, but
What?
to see John Candy in a horror movie in 1976 does sound pretty fantastic. There is an audio commentary on here by the director and the executive producer. We get an audio commentary on here as well by Paul Karup and Jason Pachonsky, because it is a Canucksploitation film. And it was one of the legendary tax shelter films of the 70s, which yielded a bunch of classics like The Brood and Black Christmas and Terror Train. But yeah, I definitely would love to watch this at least once or get bored by it after a few scenes go by.
I think it's very brave of the director to do an audio commentary.
I mean, it's only 50 years later. That's pretty cool. Next up, Kino Lorber putting out a DVD in 2026 on October 6th of the film Peter Asher, Everywhere Man. On the disc, we also have trailers. Peter Asher, Everywhere Man on DVD only. How do we feel about that?
Are you asking me?
Yeah, DVD only. What are we doing?
I mean, like, yeah, that stinks, but that's all the Hungry Hippos movie got.
Damn it. I totally set you up for that.
Yes. So what makes them think that Peter Asher is bigger than Hungry Hippos?
Yeah. I mean, James Taylor's in this, Linda Ronstadt, Carole King, Paul McCartney, Eric Idle.
Do you know who's in Hungry Hippos?
No.
Neither do I. But I bet like there's some people in there for sure.
Nope.
Steven Seagal, maybe. he just stuff.
No,
like that,
no
right?
Seagal. We don't need somebody to jump over a fence in 84 cuts. Next up on DVD only is the film Reading Lolita in Tehran, coming from Kino Lorber on September 29th. Heard this one's pretty good. We got a behind-the-scenes featurette and a trailer on this disc. It is from 2024, and also depressing that they're only putting it out on DVD. Again, I'm not against DVD if that's the only way to see a film, but this doesn't need to be the only way to see the film. It's not that much more expensive. It's not like the Blu-ray to 4K. We should be able to put this on Blu-ray and call it a day. I mean...
Agreed. And it's new. It's not like it's like an old movie.
Right.
Maybe you don't have like a good enough quality of it, or what. It came out 2 years ago.
It did, yes. Bjork, this is one of the funniest comments ever. Need a Peter Asher versus the Hungry Hungry Hippos film next? And my goodness, what I would pay to see that. All right. Finally, on DVD only from Kino Lorber, September 1st, Once Upon a Time in Cinema from 2025, an even newer film. And this is set in a small town movie theater during an eventful Friday night screening from hell. Over the course of one evening, the film follows the travails of beleaguered cinema owner Earl Clancy as he faces a myriad of disasters, any one of which could sink him. Drawing from writer-director David Gleason's own experiences growing up in a family of cinema owners, where his father's 78-year career marked the longest in Ireland, if not the world. This film is a love letter to a peculiarly Irish cinema experience, which was about as much about connecting with people as it was about the movie. If you're trying to connect to people that love movies, can we not at least get it in high definition?
Yeah, I do think it's quite funny as well that it's like a movie about cinema. It's about movies. and you're giving it to us on the poorest possible quality.
Not
other than
poorest
maybe
possible.
Netflix.
We could have done a YouTube stream.
I've done those, yeah. I agree, actually. It sounds really cool, though. I'd not heard of it, but it sounds really sick.
Yeah, and agreed, Brendan. I agree that it's better than no release at all. But there's also a little bit of a slap in the face to the filmmaker. Your film should at least be available in high definition. This is not.
Yeah, the point. But a smack in the face is better than a punch in the dick. But I'd rather have neither.
Right. I'd much rather have something that is not me being assaulted.
Yeah, I'd rather just a kiss.
I agree, Dustin. Feel like people who watch art house cinema are precisely the ones who would far prefer Blu-ray. That is absolutely the case.
Tell them that.
All right.
Question.
That is enough beleaguering the idea of DVD onlys. Instead, let's talk about retro VHS slipcovers for the film The Borrowers, coming to Blu-ray for the first time in the U.S. ever on September 29th from Alliance. I don't know what that reaction was. Have you seen The Borrowers?
Yeah. I don't know. I get that I'm not like the greatest guest, but like, what the fuck am I supposed to say about that VHS collection of The Borrowers? Like,
no, nothing.
I'm not 40.
It's coming on Blu-ray for the first time ever.
Cool.
I want the movie. I like this movie.
Do you know what? That's precisely why you're here, to share your excitement for this. Because
Well, you know what?
I have none.
It's all on you.
Oh shit! Where's that foot picture? Where's that gone?
No, we are not sharing the foot picture. Oh man! All right, that was fun. Yeah, I love John Goodman. Genuinely one of those people that, like, if he shows up in the movie, at least there's something there that I'm going to be excited about. I remember liking this one a lot. I've not seen it in ages. Having it in HD is exciting. Yeah, that's about all I'll say, since Krit doesn't want to say anything, and that's it.
Well, I will say they're right. The Secret World of Arietti's better.
I can't necessarily argue with you because I don't know that I've ever seen that one.
Oh, you should. I think I like it. It's my unpopular opinion, but I think it's a top 3 Ghibli movie.
Okay. I don't think I've ever even considered making that list, but I know how you are with lists, so that's good. All right, next up. Another retro VHS slipcover release from Alliance on September 29th of Nadine from 1987. Krit excited about this one, only because he's a big Jeff Bridges head.
Do you know what? I kind of am. I'm Kim Basinger, actually. Yeah, this is sick. This I would buy.
I love the opposite reactions between those two. Oh my god. And by far, The Borrowers is just so much more well known. And you're like, The Borrowers, fuck John Goodman. Who cares?
I don't care. Have you guys seen Kim Basinger?
I agree, Ronnie. That does not look like Jeff Bridges in this artwork at all.
No, it looks more like Josh Brolin than anything.
Yeah. A bit, for sure.
If you squint and shake your head, it's him.
I was going to do it, but then no thanks. All right. Next up, Kino Lorber on September 15th releasing a Blu-ray of the movie Mindscape, which is also known as Anna. This is from 2013. This is starring Mark Strong, Tessa Farmiga, and Brian Cox, second mention tonight. I've never seen this one. Is this a movie you've seen or heard of even?
Yeah. Seen it?
Yeah.
Hot trash.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I will cancel my pre-order. I'm just
No, it's fine. Like, it's got good actors in it, so the performances are at least like passable. But it's a movie that you watch, go, oh yeah, that's like a 6 out of 10, and then you forget that it exists until you see it randomly, like the poster on Letterboxd, like 3 years later.
I mean, 6 is a lot better than 3.
Yeah, like it's passable. It's a passable movie.
All right. So this one, we're going to interview with Tessa Farmiga and Mark Strong and making a featurette, deleted scenes, TV spot, and more. If you're into a passable film, pre-order this one. Next up, Rated X is coming on Blu-ray on September 22nd. This is from 1985. This one says, Rated X stunned audiences and critics of 1985 with its unflinching look at how deeply sexism is embedded in American media and culture. The directors, Lucy Weiner and Paula de Koenigsberg, traveled across the United States interviewing men who profited from and helped perpetuate stereotyped and sexualized images of women. Rated X captures cringeworthy moments with advertising execs, the creator of Hustler magazine's Chester the Molester cartoon, a fundamentalist minister, and a flamboyant cable TV host who roams the streets of New York City trying to persuade random women to pose nude. Applauded for its keen humor, Rated X remains as provocative and relevant as ever and is presented in a new 4K restoration. And yeah, this is interesting. Audio commentary by the filmmakers on here and a theatrical re-release trailer. I've never heard of this, and I'm genuinely very interested in seeing this.
That sounds hilarious.
It does.
Genuinely, that's my favorite kind of shit. I love like uncomfortable, cringe, like confrontations. I thrive on that shit. This sounds amazing. It kind of sounds like something Sacha Baron Cohen would do, except good. So, like, yeah, I'm into this.
So worried when you said that sentence.
You don't got to worry about me, pal.
Oh, thank goodness. I worry about you all the time still. All right, let's go to our next one. Guy Madden's Careful from 1992, getting a Blu-ray release for the first time on September 22nd from Kino. This is with a 4K restoration. It's his early masterpiece, and it takes place in a 19th century Alpine village where the wary residents, adult, child, and animal, must speak softly and tread lightly lest they cause an avalanche. But sexual frenzies teem in this world of repression, setting off incestuous love triangles and quadrangles with deadly consequences. This is produced by Sphinx Productions from the original 16mm film negative, courtesy of the TIFF Film Reference Library. Has an archival commentary by Guy Madden and the writer George Tolles. We've got another short film by Guy Madden on here, and then a 1997 60-minute film from Guy Madden. Yeah, this is one that I've been wanting to see for a long time. Heard this one is great. Are you into Guy Madden at all?
No.
No? Have you ever seen anything from Guy Madden?
No.
That's what I thought. I do think you would like his stuff. He is quite an interesting and unique filmmaker and a good time.
I love how old this looks despite being from 92.
Yeah, the cover art here is pretty great.
It's beautiful.
Eric says, based on the cover alone, I would have thought it was from the 30s or 40s. Exactly. Careful is very appealingly strange and wonderful, says the other Eric. That's amazing. Guy Madden is a filmmaker that makes David Lynch look normal, says RFV. Is that appealing to you?
Yeah. I like weird stuff.
Coming from the guy who just said, "Where's the foot picture?" Yes, you do.
It's a funny picture.
Next up, hey, you can talk about this one because you know everybody because you're on the same island, right? September 29th, there's a Blu-ray coming from Kino Lorber of Brit Noir Collection Number 4. This covers 1954 to 1955, and these are 4K restorations provided by Studio Canal. And in this, we've got The Techman Mystery from 1954. We've got Time Is My Enemy, also from 1954, and then They Can't Hang Me from 1955. New commentaries on here by Daniel Kramer, Laureen Lerman, and then by Julie Kurgo and Peter Hankoff. Are you into Brit Noir at all?
I don't know how many times I have to tell you this. Look, if Dua Lipa's not on the soundtrack...
You've not heard of it, I understand.
But look, I don't really like many old British movies, to be honest. I'm not a fan of like the aesthetics or anything like that. It doesn't really appeal to me. I think for a large portion of time, British movies were filmed and acted by a particular class of people in a particular kind of area, and it's just something I don't relate to at all. And I grew up thinking of that kind of stuff as like snobbish and Well, so it's hard for me to like just sit and watch it and kind of separate my real life biases and all that stuff. But I'm sure like I'll give it a go one day and find out that I'm actually just being an idiot. But you know,
I get it. Robert is pointing out Val Guest and Don Chaffee, definitely worth a glance. Yeah, Val Guest definitely stuck out to me there. Next up, if you're not into the British stuff, we also have French. September 29th, there's a Blu-ray set coming of Angelique, the complete 5-film collection. This covers 1964 to 1968. And if I know anything about Krit, it's that what he hates worse than British cinema is the French.
Oh, my days. Do you know what? The greatest day of my life was England beating France 6-4 for third place in the World Cup. Do you know what? Actually, I'm unfair because I do actually like quite a lot of French films, but they're more modern and horror. I don't think I've actually seen a French film before the year 2020 that I liked.
Ooh. Can I just say it was quite funny that the greatest day of your life is the day when England was slightly less of a loser than France?
Hey, 6-4, 6-4, mate.
In that game, sure, but it still was not for first or second place.
Hey, but third place, bronze, is the highest England have reached since 1966. So,
which is amazing, because at one point they literally owned like 84 countries.
I know. It's tough. It's tough going to the World Cup and half of the countries have your flag on their flag and they still, dominate. So that's tough. But, we here. We good.
Imperialism. Extras on this. We get a new commentary by the one and only Tim Lucas, another one by Simon Abrams, and then a third by Sam Deegan, a name that I feel like we've stopped hearing a whole bunch. He just must be very, very busy. All right. Next up from our list, Kino Lorber with most of the announcements tonight. They are putting out a Blu-ray soon of the silent one from 1973, 2K restoration by Gaumont. We've got Lino Ventura in this one, which will be the biggest name that people are attracted to here. I know nothing about this one, and no chance that Krit has even heard of this, probably.
That's where you're wrong. No, I ain't got a clue.
That's what I thought. All right.
I recognize Hitchcock.
Coming soon from them as well, The Dream Team from 1989. New HD master from a 4K scan of the OCN. This one starring some pretty big names. You got Peter O'Boyle, Christopher Lloyd, Michael Keaton, Stephen Furst, Lorraine Bracco's in this, James Remar, Howard Zeef is connected. Any thoughts on The Dream Team? Have you seen this one?
I have not, but Peter Boyle, that's Old Man Wickles from Scooby-Doo 2, Monsters Unleashed, and I just felt like I had to get my Scooby-Doo reference out there.
If I remember right, RFB, I think Keaton got Batman like right after this movie. Batman came out.
Batman came out 89, so it's the same year this came out,
Yeah. All right. Next up, the first time we've heard from Arbalos in quite some time. They've got a Blu-ray coming on October 13th of Nadia from 1994. This one done in conjunction with Grasshopper Films. And this has a new 4K restoration by Arbalos and Grasshopper together. New video interview with the star, Alina Lowenson. We've got a new video interview with the producers on this. We got a new interview with the cinematographer. New interview with Bertrand Mandico talking about this one, and then a booklet with writing by the writer-director Michael Almereyda. 3 films directed by Almereyda, shot in Pixel Vision, Aliens at Sundance, and the Rocking Horse winner, and the re-release trailer is attached to this. The big thing, for those that are not well known about this film, you got Peter Fonda in this, and it is following their father's death at the hands of Dr. Van Helsing. New York-based vampire Nadia and her devoted companion Renfield are drawn close to her estranged and ailing twin brother Edgar. As Van Helsing pursues this fiend from Manhattan to Transylvania, his nephew Jim and Edgar's private nurse Cassandra are all drawn into escalating battle between bloodlines. And the big thing that I found out this week, there is not a limited edition release of this. I know a lot of people are going to be freaking out, but Arbalos is not putting out a slipcover on this. Ooh, it's just a regular release, and kind of curious to see what their sales do on this one. The other thing to know is Radiance will be releasing this later this year as part of their transmission line. It is also being played in the UK in theaters. Yeah. Have you ever seen Nadia?
I have not, but it sounds fucking sick.
Yeah.
I love vampire stuff, and especially like Dracula adjacent vampire stuff, so like all the Van Helsing and stuff. Yeah, so I'm into it. I'll see it.
I foolishly chose, and I don't remember what it was. I do remember almost watching this a handful of years ago and chose a different film over it, and wish I would have watched this one. Heard the restoration looks great. Check out the trailer that's attached. You'll see some of the restoration work there. Yeah, that's all I got.
Sweet.
Nadia. Coming on October.
I like the artwork as well.
It is a beautiful, beautiful cover. Speaking of beautiful covers, this is not one. August 10th, we are getting a 4K release in the UK from Shameless, and this is of The Card Player from 2004. And the best part, they went through the process of AI generating a cover for The Card Player.
Woo!
Just brilliant choice by a company literally already called Shameless. How do we know it's an AI generated cover? Well, you'll see some of the cards here are just completely nonsense. The word Joker is not spelled Joker in a couple places. There is a like three of spades. It says 3, but there are 5 spades on the cover. The 7 of hearts, there's clearly not 7 hearts on this cover. This is just appalling. It looks atrocious. It's not even a great design. Just go with the original cover. Why would you do this?
Because ChatGPT does it better.
Does it better?
Does it better. It's a shame to do this to Dario Argento of all people.
You say that like he's a visually unique director. What do you mean?
Do you know, I've actually never... I mean, AI aside, I've never actually seen this Argento movie. I love Argento movies. I've seen a bunch of his films, but I never got to The Card Player.
Don't watch this one.
Okay. Well,
you don't
that's ruined my evening.
It's not.
I was really excited to watch this. I was going to watch it as soon as the stream ends.
No, you weren't. You were going to go to sleep.
No, I wasn't.
What time is it there over there right now?
3:30.
Why do you do this for me?
But I love it. Can't you tell?
I'm so glad that you are excited to be here. Thank you for everything, sir. We got an interview with Argento on here. It's all the same extras that came out previously from Vinegar Syndrome. I don't need to go through these. There's a booklet by Argento Authority, Alan Jones, 2-sided art card where you can get their AI-generated art, paying for AI-generated art on an art card. Come on, guys. They're even releasing the original poster in the... Like, what are we doing anyways? I don't. This sucks so much.
It also just, like, is not visually appealing at all.
No.
It looks horrific. Like, even if the details were all right, it's still not a good cover. It's hideous.
It looks like it was designed by the Edgy Clown Posse.
It does. It looks horrific.
I don't understand this choice in any way. One company that I will support on literally everything that they do is Third Window Films. September 14th, they're releasing a Blu-ray of Crazy Lips and Gore from Outer Space from the year 2000 and 2001. This is a set of totally insane films from Japan's Omega Pictures, who also did Audition and Love Exposure. And this is a 2-disc special edition release, limited to 2,000 units, with the director-approved restorations of both of these films. And in this release, we got a new director-approved transfer. We got a 12-page booklet, slipcase, and full-length Scanovo cases with reversible artwork. 2,000 limited. It is region-free. We got Tori Potenza and Amber T doing an audio commentary on Crazy Lips, a making of their interview with Hiroshi Sasaki and Hiroshi Takashi. We got archival interviews with both of them as well. And then on disc 2 for Gore from Outer Space, we've got a short film called Gore from Outer Space Prelude Transformation, a short film called Crazy Invasion, and then some archival interviews on that disc. We're actually going to be talking about this one again later on because company that they worked with in the U.S. is also releasing these. But Japanese gonzo movies like this, are you a fan, sir?
Not in particular. Like, but I've seen them. I like them, but like, it's not something that I've like had a lot of experience in, and I would be lying if I said that. Like, oh yeah, I'm a massive fan. And blah, blah, blah. I know this is going to be like straight up Bjork's alley. It's the first thing I thought when I saw it.
Literally said instant pre-order.
Yeah. The cover art is absolutely beautiful, and all the films listed on this beautiful little graphic here, I like. So,
yeah, I mean, this sounds like an incredible release. I will absolutely be choosing this one over the other one that we're talking about. No particular reason, but I adore Third Window. Then, speaking of things that Krit adores, October 5th, we're getting a release in the UK, October 6th in the US, of the Harry Potter 8-film collection 4K Steelbook library. How long now have you been the president of the J.K. Rowling fan club?
I actually got promoted. I own it now.
Okay.
No, I'm sick of seeing Harry Potter in my lifetime, like, especially in England. It's fucking everywhere. It is everywhere. Like, we don't need more editions. We don't. We just don't. Like, no one is craving a new release of the Harry Potter movies. 2, they're not like that good. They like some of them. Brilliant movies. Some of them are. Transphobia aside, weird naming conventions aside, terrible world building aside, some of them are just made by genuinely talented people. But I just don't care. I just don't like.
They had their time.
They did, and I think people need to grow up.
Especially while the owner of this IP is literally collecting money to ruin other people's lives, which is truly embarrassing.
Yeah.
It is absolutely a cross promotion for the
on this stream. Is that?
No, probably not.
No?
But
No.
I understand. I mean, somebody said she needs to be canceled. She's been canceled multiple times. She needs to be canceled permanently. So, wow. I just wow, that's a fun typo. I tried to say Gonzo's like bonkers, but man, can we not have the host of the show type in Gonzo's like boners? I guess not, but here we are. Oh well. Self-deprecating humor is fun. Let's see.
I can't stop thinking about Gonzo being like a Muppet. So like that sentence, Gonzo is like boners, is like just, I'm trying to like figure that in my head.
Let's talk about Evil Dead 2013 coming to 4K Collector's Edition in the UK for the first time ever on October 19th. Studio Canal putting this one out, and this is the first 4K release of the movie over there. How do you feel about this compared to the other Evil Dead movies?
I think it's better than the original. I think it's one of the few remakes that kind of outdoes it. But also, like, I feel like that's only really a controversial stand against film nerds. But, like, I think even Raimi would admit that this is probably better than his first movie. I mean, there's a reason he made Evil Dead 2, right? Evil Dead 2 was just a remake of the first one. It's what he wanted to do, but he didn't have the actors and the budget and the special effects and the means to make what he wanted to make. So, yeah, like, it's really, really good. I think it's the best out of the new ones also. Oh.
Kevin, I did not appreciate. Not appreciate. I did not anticipate that.
Evil Dead Burn is not great. It's fine. It's passable. But yeah, this is incredible.
Do you want to piss some people off? Eric wants to know what your Evil Dead ranking list is.
Evil Dead Burn at the bottom. And this is where it gets controversial.
Already?
Oh shit! Right, Evil Dead Burn, The Evil Dead. Yep, Evil Dead Rise, Evil Dead, Army of Darkness, Evil Dead 2.
Wow. Mine is also controversial, so I'm going to keep it to myself. If you would just willingly go out and say it on live stream.
Yeah, I don't give a shit. I don't have a platform anymore. I don't got to keep.
You do. You just don't utilize it.
I don't got to keep viewers for nothing. Fuck them.
Wow. I will say mine is quite close to Kevin's, except Evil Dead Burn is nowhere near the top spot.
I cannot believe you've got Evil Dead Burn at the top. That makes me sick. I would even accept Evil Dead Burn over like Evil Dead Rise. I would allow it.
Whoa. Another controversial one. Evil Dead Rise at the top. I think that's the first time I've ever heard Evil Dead Rise at the top.
Do you know what? I'm not even that mad at it. Like, I think Evil Dead Rise is so much better than people say it is.
It's very good.
Evil Dead 2 and Army of Darkness at the bottom is insane.
I will be quiet then. I have Army of Darkness at like number 5 in my ranking.
That's crazy to me. I'm sorry. It's crazy.
I mean, you know this about me. I'm not a fantasy person. So the jump, like, it's fun.
That's true. That's true.
I don't love fantasy.
But here's the thing. Here's the consolation for anyone that's upset about my stupid ranking that's meaningless to everyone's lives. All of them are good. There's not a bad one. Evil Dead Burn is the closest to a bad one I'd say there is.
I would say there's
all of the others I think are great.
Okay. I mean, for that, I agree with that, other than Evil Dead Burn. I would say that one is bad. All right. So this release, 2 region-free 4K discs, because 4K discs are always supposed to be region-free. You got the theatrical and the unrated cuts of the film. New artwork, which is pretty decent. I like the artwork here. Removable slipcover so that you can have the clean artwork on the inside. You got 2 posters, one of the key art, one of the alternative artwork designed by Krishna Balashanoy. 4 new illustrations by Krishna as well for each panel of the Digipack. 64-page collector's booklet in here as well with 4 new essays on the movie. New extra Chris Tilley on Evil Dead from 2013. And then all of the archival extras that were out there for this one. So this pretty comprehensive release. Looks like the best release of this film so far. And just to light a fire and then walk away, I think this is by far the best Evil Dead film. Let's go to the next announcement.
I'm not mad at that, by the way.
Coming on October 6th to 20th, somewhere in there, the Godzilla store is releasing a 4K steelbook of Godzilla -1. This is if you're counting, the 74th release of this film that came out just 3 years ago. And what's funny is you're thinking, is he kidding or serious? And I was kidding, but it is feasible. This is already the 74th release of this film. They are going to milk the absolute shit out of this movie. The best thing, though, is that this is a pretty good-looking steelbook. If you don't own the movie so far, this looks like a good way to get it. It glows in the dark, has nothing special on the discs. It looks to be the same as before. The only other thing that might be different is it does say that it has English audio, so the English dub might be there. Godzilla -1, how do you feel about it?
I own it on 4K. It is the best Godzilla movie, and that'll be my opinion of the day, I guess.
I don't think anybody should argue with that. It is by far the best Godzilla movie. Cinema Force, it does not have Godzilla minus color on this disc. No.
Good. Fucking bullshit ass release. I hate the black and white release of that movie. It's so stupid.
I've not watched it. I do want to watch it, but I don't know.
So unnecessary.
I'm very much looking forward to Godzilla -0.
Yeah.
Adamo, are we just breaking your heart tonight? Is this like the 5th time you've said that? Shin Godzilla is very good. It is not as good as Godzilla -0 or -1.
I don't think Shin Godzilla's that good, but I'm just gonna.
Really? I freaking loved it. Although I did get to see it in a theater this last year, and that was my first time seeing it, and it was great.
I think it's a competent Godzilla movie.
Interesting. Hilton likes Shin better too. Wow.
But I don't think it's better. I certainly don't think it's better than -1, and I don't
York
think
thinks
it's better than
it's
the
the best
original
one too. Yeah, there's all kinds of crazy releases of this movie, and they're just going to keep coming out there. They're gonna definitely take advantage of Godzilla fans. Hey, this is my biggest news of the week. So Deaf Crocodile and Antenna are literally opening up a video store and micro cinema here in my hometown of Lee Summit, Missouri, just outside of Kansas City. And we are currently running a Kickstarter over on, well, Kickstarter. And if you're keen to donate, we would be quite appreciative. We set our goal very, very low. And the reason that we did that is because we were worried about how people would take it and seeing what people would want to donate, maybe. And so we set it so low that we didn't think it was going to be so quick to succeed. But if you're keen, link is in the comments there. Please check it out. We did meet our goal within the first 2 hours yesterday. Lots of crazy things still available, but just going to read through this so that there's less questions later. Deaf Crocodile and Antenna are joining forces to create a space catering to the most ardent physical media focused cinephiles out there, and we are calling it Adventures in Analog. It's a brand new physical media fulfillment center, video storefront, and micro cinema all in one space located in Lee Summit, Missouri, just outside of Kansas City. The back room will consist of fulfillment for all of the Deaf Crocodile and Antenna releases, plus some others that we're partnering with already. We've already got some other things in the works, and we're also going to be shipping out our merchandise in there, of course. The front room, which you're looking at in this picture here, will consist of a physical media lover's dream featuring discs galore, merchandise, film ephemera, and a micro cinema, where we will be showing some of the coolest titles from Antenna, Deaf Crocodile, TerraVision, New Wave Video, and so much more. It's your new one-stop shop for celebrating your love of film with folks who get it. We are raising funds to be able to trick it out the way that we want to make it great for all of you. And this is our way to make a very much a community space. And so this is definitely a PBS style fundraiser. Like if you donate $100, you get a pair of socks sort of thing. You're not buying something that's worth the donation amount. This is more of like, hey, I get a cool thing for donating. So things like you can name a chair in the micro cinema. You can sponsor a shelf. You can donate and be able to get the rights to be able to decorate our bathroom. We're going to be adding some new things in the next week, and we're going to be doing what we can to make this enticing to get people to keep giving and see what we can to get some add-ons going, because man, I would love to have more of you be able to be involved and get your stamp of approval on the place with your name on the wall. There's a level here where you can give, and most of the levels actually get your name on a big thank you all. Yeah, this is the Kickstarter I was talking about, Krit. We are literally opening a video store, and this is the first time you're hearing about that. How does that make you feel?
It sounds really fucking sick. I'm opening the Kickstarter, and once I have money, I'm gonna name a chair.
Amazing.
I'm gonna name it Christopher.
I really hope you do. I put up a couple options, and of course we had to go with the very English Cherry McChairface as one of them, and another option which somebody said was a double entendre, but I think it's pretty funny. Alfred Sitcock would be pretty funny.
That's quality. That's quality. I like that. I like that a lot.
I also, in our update today, I said, what about Seat Graves?
Not bad. Not bad. It's barely loading this page. It's freaking my PC out.
Thank you, Kev.
Okay.
I appreciate that. Stan wants to know if we're going to be doing rentals. The plan is to start rentals most likely next year. We're not going to be starting with rentals. We got to get our feet under us first to make sure that we can do it. Gosh, I appreciate everybody. There are hopefully going to be things that we can do to entice you to come to Kansas City. Kansas City is a pretty rad place. I know it's no LA, but we got a lot of stuff that we're going to be doing for sure. Can't wait for the thank you for sitting on my face chair. Well, thanks, Sib. Appreciate that.
It just looked really cool. If I ever find myself just outside of Kansas City, I'll pop in. I'll say it's unlikely. You never know.
It is unlikely, but I literally have invited you here before, so
It's true.
Kev wants to know: is this picture the actual place or just a stock photo? We don't use stock photos, buddy. This is the actual place.
It's AR.
I hate you so much. We already have a lease on this place. This has been in the works for quite some time. If you remember when the Deaf Crocodile Warehouse moved to Lee Summit, Missouri back in the early part of May, that's when we checked this out for the first time. Craig was here in person. We walked through here and walked through a bunch of places, but this was the one. And we knew pretty quickly it's kind of perfect. What you're seeing here is the actual storefront room. And then up those stairs, we're going to have a door here to wall off between the two rooms. And the whole side across from here is going to be the fulfillment area. And then this front area where you see another window up at the top there, that's going to be perfect for like an event space where we can keep the shipment center in the back and have a director set up there for signings for when we do in-person screenings with some of our directors from Antenna. And you can come in, get a signing, get a photo taken with the director, and then walk right into the micro cinema and video store and hang out while we spend the rest of the evening together. And that to me is just super exciting.
Cool. If I ever visit, will you let me take free stuff?
If you ever visit, I will give you more than $100 worth of merchandise to make your time extra worth it.
Dope. I'll be there.
RFV, we can absolutely spotlight up-and-coming filmmakers from YouTube and elsewhere in the community space, 100%. It is better than LA, says Staplehead. I mean, in certain ways, I could see that. Rochero, I like that, Madhouse. Which Kansas City is the good one again? If you have to ask, the answer is clearly Kansas City, Missouri. Kansas City, Kansas is the worst. Nobody lives there. It's okay.
I didn't even know there were two.
There are two. We have literally two cities named Kansas City that meet and they touch, and it sucks so much.
What a bizarre thing.
10-hour drive from Eric. Yeah, you can get down here for sure. Let's get a bunk bed set up in the back for when I visit. Yeah, absolutely. You can definitely sleep there. No problem. Yeah, behind that wall that you see on the left, like Craig is saying, there will be a warehouse and fulfillment area. And then RFE says, I hope the adventure storefront is near a cinema or a bookstore. Here's the best part. It is not near a cinema because there are literally only 2 movie theaters in Kansas City, or in the Lee Summit area, not in Kansas City. That'd be crazy. But in Lee Summit, there are no independent theaters. We only have 2 chain theaters that kind of suck. So this will be the only place that independent films are shown at all outside of a chain for a city that literally has more than 110,000 people in it, which is wild to me. And so it's not super close to a bookstore, but we are going to be partnering with a local comic book store. So that'll be fun. Craig wants to know if we're getting Janelle Monáe to perform for the opening yet. The call is in. She's not returned the call yet. If we can't get her, I guess fairly recently, Tech Nine just filmed a music video like a block away from my house, which was interesting.
I mean, yeah, he's from Kansas, right?
He's from Kansas City, yeah. Lives in my town. Reggie wants to know, aren't the Chiefs moving to the bad Kansas City? Yes, and they are paying them a lot of money to do that.
Damn. If you get Janelle Monáe to perform for the opening, I'll be there. If you get Tech Nine, I won't be.
Okay, I'll try that.
So it depends how much you want me there, really.
I will do my best.
Thank you.
Dustin wants to know if there's going to be a coffee shop called Decaf Crocodile. I mean, that's a great idea. There will absolutely be a popcorn machine, and there will absolutely be all kinds of snacks. So if you're into it, come hang out. We would love to have you. The plan right now is to open in late October, early November-ish. We'll see. There's some other things in the works for Antenna that's happening around there, and the timing is going to have to make sense for all of us. But, yeah, check out the Kickstarter if you're keen. We would love to have you. Appreciate the support from everybody. It's been a crazy week, so definitely appreciate that. Next up, October 27th, Cinema Guild putting out the film Moving on 4K and Blu-ray. This is from 1993, and it's supposed to be incredible. Not been able to see this one. This premiered at Cannes in 1993, and it's been one of Shinji Somai's most beloved films. This has a making of, a behind-the-scenes TV doc on here, an interview with the actress Tomoko Tabata, an introduction by Ryusuke Hamaguchi, and a booklet with archival director's notes on here as well. And yeah, that's Moving. Have you seen Moving?
I have not. I have seen Shinji's other movie. It's like Typhoon Club or something like that.
That's the one, yeah.
Yeah, and that was excellent. So I'll definitely be down to see this at least. check it out.
Absolutely. I've heard this one is great. I need to see it. Hey, more UK things for Krit to comment on. Network is back, but also not back, sort of. So from their site, they announced that, hey, we're Network, we're back. We're not the same old Network. We're a brand new team excited and dedicated to making Britain's TV and film heritage available to everyone. After Network closed in 2023, the Network brand and assets were acquired by new owners. They operate independently, are not connected to the former owners. And their current plans, they've been associated with preserving and restoring and making available British TV and film classics, from rare and wonderful titles like The Strange World of Gurney Slade to the edge-of-your-seat action of the Jerry Anderson catalog. And that's what they want to do. They're a small group of enthusiasts, and they are collectors with a passion for the nation's screen history and for physical media as well. The first step on the journey is to make as much of the Network catalog available again as possible. You can find a curated range of classic Network titles on their relaunched networkonair.com website. They're also bringing back some of the popular out-of-print titles, and they're going to share more news on that as it progresses. This is exciting. Network has had a crazy big catalog, and I hope that they are able to at least semi-return to their former glory. Do you have much in the way of affinity for Network?
Honestly, never heard of them before. I am having a little look at the website now.
It's very British.
Yeah, I can tell. I mean, they have some cool titles. They have some cool stuff, but it's like, it's like all this like old British stuff.
It is very old British.
You know, I'm not like too much into, in truth.
I understand.
But I mean, it's good for them anyway to just exist. Like, it's great for this stuff to actually be available for people.
All right. Next up, this is an interesting one because it wasn't in my round of things to talk about, but somehow it was missed, so I wanted to make sure I shared this. Antenna. We announced one of our newest acquisitions, and it is this film called In the Mouth. This is our newest poster, and I freaking love this poster. We are putting out the film from Corey Santilli called In the Mouth, and it's going to be coming out in October. It's going to be on Fandor around then, and it will also be doing a full VOD release later that month. The big thing, though, is this is going to be playing in a bunch of Alamo draft houses, and I hope people check this out because this movie is incredible, and I wanted to share our trailer with everybody, so we're actually going to play this. Let me make this full screen so that we don't have to see us laugh and cringe at this because it's amazing. Here we go.
My first watch along.
So why don't you go outside?
I just can't.
Read this.
What's that?
It's a letter stating that you have 5 days to pay me before you're evicted.
Ah, yes. I'd like to place an ad. Roommate wanted. Who is it?
It's Larry. I'm here about the ad in the Penny Saver.
What is this?
It's a bed.
Hey, look, if anybody comes around looking for me, just tell them I'm not home. So you're not one of those bubble boys, are you?
Bubble boy?
Hey, look, if I'm going to live here, I got to know what's going on.
There's a killer on the loose.
Is that for me?
Yeah, it's for you. There's half.
Who's that?
Who?
Where? Shh.
Okay, so In the Mouth is incredible. It is such a personal story because the director has agoraphobia himself, and being able to put that out, you feel it. It is a movie that definitely is a very personal story to tell on that front. It is hilarious. It is very like screwball comedy meets neo-noir in a very black comedy way, and it is just a damn good time. Very, very surreal ending to it, and I hope people check it out because it is amazing, and it looks gorgeous the entire time. Corey Santilli, incredible filmmaker. Cannot wait for people to be able to see that one.
Looks really cool. It had a total of 2 split diopters in that trailer, so I am sold.
And that's just the trailer.
Yeah, I have a rule. We have a rule in my house where if a movie has a split diopter shot, it goes up half a star automatically.
Nice.
So this movie's already starting out on half a star.
I appreciate the nod then. That checks. All right, we got a handful left to talk about. September 8th, Kino Lorber putting out a 4K set of the Pink Panther Masterpiece Collection. This is seemingly all of the exact same discs that they put out before, and it will also include a 24-page booklet by Jason Simos with William Patrick Maynard. I know a lot of people had some complaints about these and the discs that they had put out. 88 Films also releasing them over in the UK. Are you a Pink Panther fan?
Not at all. I didn't even know, like, until embarrassingly late, that like the Pink Panther was like a dude. I thought it was like the cartoon. I thought it was like the Pink Panther like cartoon. And I was like, I don't get it. Why is everyone like, I thought it was like a Scooby-Doo or a Bugs Bunny type deal. Turns out, no, not really. It's just an odd dude.
I think most people have that. And they do think it's an actual panther until they're like 7. I'm just kidding. I don't know when. All right. Next up, we mentioned these earlier. Air 4444 here in the U.S. They are putting out the 2 films that we talked about from Third Window. They're putting out Gore from Outer Space and Crazy Lips. This one also region free. This one limited to 1,500 copies. And it is all the exact same extras. So basically, the only thing to really choose from is if you want Air 4444 or Third Window. If you want these titles, very different looking art, very different set. Yeah, I was not going to linger on that one too long.
Christ.
That Gore was not in outer space. Yeah. No pre-order date on this, but it will be up eventually to check out. Next, Imprint in Australia putting out Red Sonja on 4K. This is coming on September 30th. This will be a 4K steelbook. No new extras on here. Everything is what we had gotten on previous releases, but you got an original artwork steelbook and a pretty decent set. And yeah. Are you an Arnold Schwarzenegger fan? No?
No. I like some Arnie movies. Everyone likes some Arnie movies, but like I like just kind of the basic Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. I like Predator. You know what I mean? I like Terminator, but I'm not going like. I know this isn't particularly deep, but like I'm not going more than surface level Arnie, really.
I get it. I disagree, but I get it. And then in a similar vein, they're also putting out on that same day the Deathstalker collection, which when they say Deathstalker collection, it usually means it's missing parts 3 and 4, which this one is as well. You've got Deathstalker 1, Deathstalker 2, and then the brand new 2025 Deathstalker. No new extras again, but it is in a fancy steelbook if that's what you're really after. Yeah, steelbooks. How are they still such a thing? I don't get it.
Because I keep buying them.
Are you super into steelbooks?
I've got quite a few, to be fair. But usually I only buy them if, like, the artwork is very nice for one. Like, if it's nicer than the standard 4K, whatever. And then if it's 4K. That's kind of the only thing. Like, with The Long Walk, I just really liked this artwork and, like, the slip of, like, the glasses.
Yeah.
I just liked it much more than the standard 4K artwork, and that's all I really bought it for.
Yeah, I am certainly not a Steelbook person. I am so tired of them at this point. I'm into the great artwork, but man, we can do so much better than boxes that can dent when you look at them funny.
Mine don't really leave the shelf, so it's good for me.
Well, yeah, if you're not watching them, I get that.
Yeah. Usually, like the only journey they make is shelf to living room, then back to the shelf within a day. So they're not really doing much traveling.
I mean, yeah, mine aren't carrying suitcases, but still, I don't know, not a fan. Let's talk about Eureka. They had some announcements today. October 19th are all these release dates, and they are all going to be UK only, and they are all Blu-ray only. So we've got coming up first, The Screaming Skull from 1958. This sounds like I probably would not like it very much. This is adapted from a short horror story by Frances Marion Crawford and marking the directorial debut of Alex Nichol, better known for his acting performance in The Man from Laramie and The Twilight Zone. This is a hidden gem from the vaults of American International Pictures, an atmospheric and deeply eerie gothic chiller that plays like a meeting between Daphne du Maurier and William Castle. We've got some special features on here. We've got new artwork by John Dunn, limited edition collector's booklet with new writing on the production and marketing of this by John Towson, author of Subversive Horror Cinema. We've got a new intro to The Screaming Skull by Stephen Laws. We got a new visual essay by the Mary Going on this one as well. I have never heard of The Screaming Skull. Had you heard of this one?
I have not, but the cover art is very beautiful. I'm
it's
really
pretty good, yeah.
cover art. But yeah, no, they've never heard of it. Sounds okay, but it like the description. The only thing that's really pulling me is the artwork. Even the titles don't like grabbing me too much. It kind of just sounds a bit generic and
yeah. Next, one of the funniest announcement titles for a while. October 19th, like I said again, they are putting out the Ghouls Gone Wild collection. This is going to be 3 titles from the horror boom over in Asia with Chow Yun-fat and Ricky Hui and Wu Ma. And we've got on this 3 different films. We got Magic of Spell, Scared Stiff, and The Haunted Cop Shop. This is going to have booklet with an essay on the borrowing and remixing of world genre traditions and Sacred Stiff, The Haunted Cop Shop and Magic of Spell by Ian Robert Smith, author of the Hollywood meme Transnational Adaptations of World Cinema. We've got new commentary on Scared Stiff by Frank Jang, new commentaries on The Haunted Cop Shop and Magic of Spell by Arna Venema and Dom Ting, and then a new interview on the history of horror cinema in Hong Kong and Taiwan with Fraser Elliott. Are you into any of the Hong Kong horror titles?
I mean, not in particular, but this sounds sick. And it looks really nice.
Yeah. And it's titled Ghouls Gone Wild.
Yeah. It's like, what more could a man want?
A lot. It's not a steelbook, which you would be stoked about. Next, they are also putting out Beneath the Trees, Folktales at Difa, Volume Number 2, with the Tinderbox Snow White and Rose Red, The Frog King, and The Robe. We have on here limited edition 60-page book featuring a new essay by the expert Karina Alexandra Rader, new notes on each film in the set by Difa historian Sebastian Hijike and Kina Shen, plus the original stories that inspired the Tinderbox Snow White and Rose Red, The Frog King, and The Robe. And we've got new commentary on the Tinderbox by Ali Pitts, new commentary on The Robe by Michael Brook, who's great, new interview with Rachel Paffryman, new visual essay by Sam Summers, some short films, and that is it. I love these types of releases, and again, pretty solid artwork. Love these Difa fairy tales that Eureka and Deaf Crocodile both been putting out, and I think more people need to check them out. They're pretty well made. All right. Hey, another antenna announcement. We are Bloody Disgusting posted this announcement for us. We are putting out 2 different documentaries by the filmmaker Stuart Buck. He made a World War II fairy tale, The Making of Michael Mann's The Keep. And then the next one is Uncovering Wolfen. This is about the making of the film Wolfen, of course. These are really great. These are both going to be coming out theatrically later this year. in September, October, and then premiering digitally after that. At the moment, just a heads up, there is no physical media plans for either of these because the first of these, you might recognize this title, World War II Fairy Tale, is on disc already from Imprint Films in Australia. It just has not had a U.S. theatrical release, so we're going to try to do that. We're playing some double features with The Keep itself, which I think is really fun to be able to do. Watch the film and then the making of the film right after that. And then Wolfen, we are not planning on putting that out on disc because I have a feeling somebody else will be putting this out on disc for a very specific reason over the next couple of years. And if that was not the most obvious way to say that, then you should probably think about it. Yeah, look for both of these in theaters soon. Are you into The Keep or Wolfen at all?
I love The Keep. I have not seen Wolfen. It's on the radar. And I do want to watch it. I'm just like, what's the word? Like, there's almost like a trepidation to it, like, because I don't like American Werewolf in London. I don't like The Howling. Like, these kind of old school, like, werewolf kind of movies just don't hit for me. So, like, I'm always scared when, like, one is supposed to be good. And then I watch it and I realize I don't like it. But
that's pretty sad.
I will get to Wolfen at some point.
That is sad. Silent Mandible, feel better. Pinch nerves are never good. All right. Then, wow, there's a lot of antenna talk tonight. Dead Media, we talked about this a few weeks ago. This is a weird video to hype up while showing this. But don't worry, the shakiness will go away in just a moment. Kind of a different thing, antenna. And when you are running antenna and you own a magazine, you can make a issue of the magazine dedicated to a film. We put out an issue of the Physical Media Advocate dedicated to Dead Media. And you can check this out at any of the live roadshow screenings for Dead Media right now. If you are a current subscriber on the Patreon, you may have received your copy at some point. I still don't have a copy of this one. I'm quite jealous of everybody that does. But the issue here is quite special. The front half has... man, look at that. I'm jealous.
And I've already read mine and everything.
It's smaller than the usual issues. The front half of this is dedicated to the film Dead Media. The second half is dedicated to Physical Media itself. And can you pause this? Is that possible? Okay, you can. That was weird. It's mostly for people that are going to be getting into physical media for the first time. And so check out the release of this. I think it's really fun. And I think a good marketing tie-in is pretty exciting. You've read it. How do you feel about the issue overall? Does it make you want to see the film?
Yeah, I was really into this, to be honest. I really liked reading it. I was telling you when I first received it, there's like this section at the back that mentions in a row like 5 movies that just like in my life I was convinced I was the only person to have ever seen them. So yeah, it was really fun.
That was written by the Wonderment Project, who's in the chat tonight.
Hello.
Yeah, check it out. The issue for this magazine will be available everywhere eventually, but also you'll be able to buy the film with a bundle with the magazine when it comes out on the website at some point next year. It will be a while, but check it out. Next, Kino Lorber putting out a 4K and Blu-ray release of Adam Sandler's Bulletproof from 1996 with Damon Wayans. On this, we get a new audio commentary by Ernest Dickerson with Brian Reisman and Max Every. We get another new audio commentary by Mike Leader. Mike Leader. How do you feel about Bulletproof? Did you see this one?
I mean, I've seen it. I don't like... Does anyone have like a real opinion on it, though?
Oh, yeah. A lot of people love this movie, and a lot of people hate this movie. This is quite divisive.
Is it?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I watched it, and it was exactly what I expected it to be. And it just kind of lives in the middle. It's fine.
It is so boring.
Like, it's got some okay, like, little chuckles. That's fine. But for the most part, it's kind of whatever. It's like the average Sandler output to me.
Disagree, but all right. Next up, on September 29th, Blu-ray coming of The Caveman's Valentine from 2001, a movie with Samuel Jackson that I'd never heard of, ever. I don't remember this being announced. I don't remember this coming out. I don't remember anything about this. Sounds kind of intriguing. We got an audio commentary with the director on here and the editor, some deleted scenes. Had you heard of this one or seen this one?
I've seen, I've not watched it, but I've seen bits of this before. Sam Jackson in Dreads just doesn't translate in my head. It doesn't work. He looks so weird.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's a wig also, and kind of an obvious one, so it just doesn't look great.
It would be interesting if it wasn't a wig, but I very much assume it's a wig, yes. All right. Next up, Catch a Fire from 2006, coming on Blu-ray from them on September 29th. This one with Tim Robbins, who I unironically love in pretty much everything that he does. He's fantastic. Yep. Audio commentary by Philip Noyce and the writer on here and a couple of the actors as well, some deleted scenes. I've not seen Catch a Fire, but yeah, this one sounds pretty great. And Philip Noyce, I mean, when you've directed Patriot Games and Clear and Present Danger, I definitely want to see it.
Yeah, I haven't seen this one, but I came across it and I added it to my watch list after I did my Denzel watch through, because Derek Luke is in Antoine Fisher, which is a movie directed by Denzel and starring Denzel, and he's so great in that movie. So then I went to go and see what other stuff he had been in, and this one stood out because of Philip Noyce and Tim Robbins, who is just fantastic across the board. So yeah, it's on my watch list. I'm pretty excited for it.
Yeah, very curious to see this one. Anything Tim Robbins is great. RFE, that's funny. All right, that is it for announcements for this week. I do have more that I should have posted and was not able to yet, so we'll cover even more of those next week. But instead, what is coming out next week, in case you forgot, Kill Bill, The Whole Bloody Affair, coming out on 4K. You weren't here to react to that. How do you feel about that finally coming out on disc?
I literally couldn't care less. I'm not a Tarantino guy. And I'd okay, I don't get the whole bloody affair thing. I don't get it. I don't get what's so special about it. Because as far as I know, it's just volume 1 and 2 just put together, correct?
Nope.
What is it? Can you explain to me what it is?
There is different editing. There's a couple extended sequences. There's a longer animated sequence in there. It is shockingly different. There are things that are not present in, or there are things that are present in the end of part 1 that are edited fully out of the film, because when you watch them together, it does not work to have those scenes in there. So yeah, it's very different.
Okay, fair enough. Does it have the Superman scene on the back end?
I don't even remember what that is referring.
Bill has a really pretentious speech about Superman.
Oh, yeah, I believe it does. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So it's still bullshit then. Yeah, I just don't care. I like the first Kill Bill movie. But I don't really care too much.
The first one is by far the better one. And I'm just stoked to see something that we all thought was never going to happen just coming out. That is exciting to me. Next week, we also get Stranger Things, the complete series from Arrow, which is still wild to me that they're putting that out. Soylent Green on 4K here in the U.S. We've got Threads on 4K from Severn shipping. Lionheart 4K from MVD. The Outfit from Arrow. We've got all of the Vinegar Syndrome stuff shipping for this month as well. We've got Pillow Talk on 4K coming out. Devil Wears Prada 2 on 4K. The new film Pressure on 4K. We've got Hyperspace on 3D. I'm very curious about that one. Deadly Blessing on 4K from Kino, which finally went up for pre-order, which has been weird. Amazon has been doing weird things with that. End of Watch 4K standard coming out from Scream Factory or Shout or whatever they are nowadays. King Creole 4K if you want more Elvis from Kino. Captain Horatio Hornblower from Warner Archive. The Double from Radiant. South Park Bigger, Longer, Uncut 4K Steelbook. Why does this page keep glitching? The War Game 4K from Severin. In the Gray, the Guy Ritchie film. That's coming out on Blu-ray. Let's see. Bonnie Scotland, the Laurel and Hardy film from Warner Archive. We've got the Disco Italiana box set, Keyhole from Warner Archive, Colt 45 from Warner Archive, Lupin the Third movie. We've got Lily Turner, Warner Archive. Is God Is finally coming out on Blu-ray. Mortal Kombat 2 is next week. Relentless on Blu-ray for the first time. The Deaf Crocodile title, The Arrival from the Darkness, should be arriving at retailers over the next few days. Same with Cat City. And that collection is already sold out. So if you see it at a retailer, check it out. Mickey and Maude coming out on Blu-ray next week as well. Ping Pong from 88 Films. Walk a Tightrope from Kino Lorber. The Paper Season 1, which I still need to stream. I've heard that one was decent. Suspended Time is next week. Cop and Blue Jeans from Raro is next week. Lorin from Visual Vengeance is next week. Year in a Field from the new Severin partner label, headed by Kayla Janice, is finally coming out next week. That, I believe, is it. Desert Warrior from Findeluego USA. Anything exciting for next week from you? Are you into Stranger Things?
No. I like the first season. Like, I would say I'm a fan of Stranger Things season 1, and then I progressively become less of a fan as it goes on. I didn't see season 5. I couldn't care less. I am definitely not spending £200 on a box set for it. It's just outrageous.
It's less than that. It's shockingly inexpensive for what it is, I would say, especially because you can get the whole thing on 4K, but it is still a lot.
Yeah, you've also got to weigh up whether it's worth owning on 4K.
That's
like
true.
if they just release the seasons separately, which I don't know if they're doing, but I don't think they are.
They're not.
I would buy season 1. But the problem with Stranger Things is if you've seen any movie before 1995, it's almost unbearable. It's just an amalgamation of much better projects.
Yeah.
So, whatever. But out of that entire list, Deadly Blessing will be a purchase.
I need that one as well. Any Craven 4K needs a purchase.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Deadly Blessing, big fan of Wes Craven in general. What I find really interesting about Deadly Blessing, it's like one of his more underrated movies overall. But what's interesting about it is how much of a prototype it is for his future things. Like the scene in A Nightmare on Elm Street in the bathtub, where the hand comes in between Nancy's legs.
Yeah.
That shot is just in Deadly Blessing. First, he did that shot already, and it was such a cool shot that he just did it again. And there's loads of stuff like that. Just loads of Deadly Blessing just shows back up in Wes Craven's career, which I find quite interesting.
Yeah, he's a great filmmaker. And he did a lot of horror, which we get to talk about tonight. Not his stuff, because he does not get to be one of the top horror movies of the 2000s. And I guess I shouldn't say we're not doing top horror movies. We're doing scariest movies.
I was going to say, if it was just strictly top horror movies, I genuinely think Scream 4 does deserve a little honorable mention at least. It's a very good entry into the franchise, but yeah.
We are talking about scariest movies, and we each have a list of 10, because this is a topic that could have been quite robust. I think my first list had 33 different titles on here. But I mean, the first thing that we should talk about, what scares you, Krit, in films? What are things that you find scary?
The Rock, Kevin Hart. Things like that. I would say in horror, found footage is a strong one for me, which I think will become apparent at some point in my list. But the truth is, actually, I get scared very, very easily. Horror is my favorite genre, and a big credit to that is that it does scare me. Even watching not massively scary horror films still makes me feel tense and horrible, which I enjoy. I just enjoy experiencing fear like that. So yeah, all of it really.
I was looking at my stuff tonight, and I don't really have an easy answer for what scares me. I think the easiest thing that scares me, which I can point to, are situations that are very realistic, things that I could easily see happening, and just because people are monsters. The relative, I guess, is a way to say that, which I'm scared of some of my relatives. There are certain things on here that is hilarious to say that about, because then half my list is just full-blown impossible. But there are so many movies that have done the impossible with things that are not possible. I've got multiple films on here that the supernatural is such a huge part of it, but the way that the scares are crafted is so well done that they worked really well on me. And I will say, I don't know if you're kind of the same, but when I'm talking about scariest, and I went through my whole list, I usually like to champion smaller films. Most of these are incredibly well-known, very big mainstream movies, and I feel like the fun part of tonight is going to be discussing the subjectivity of this conversation and what is somebody, and just absolutely benign for somebody else.
Yeah, I don't think there's like a particularly obscure movie sitting on my list. I mean, most of them are very, very popular, and then some of them are kind of like middle ground popular, where like there's you will have heard of it, but you might not have seen it. My number one is probably my most obscure one there, but even then, I don't think like it's like crazy unknown.
Interesting. Loving some of these answers about what scares others as well. We will absolutely go back to some pre-2000s scariest films at some point, but this was just a fun way to make this very specific for tonight. So we're going to go back and trade off. The way that Krit and I have always done this is if one of us have mentioned a title and it's higher on the other person's list, we'll save it, and then we'll discuss it at length when we get to that point. So if one of us says, yes, that's higher on my list, we'll just pause and discuss later. Nobody's going to get cut off, but there's no reason to talk about them twice in depth. So we will start with you. What is your number 10?
Okay, so first of all, I've got some quick honorable mentions that I just needed to get out of the way. Because obviously this list could go infinitely long, and I just felt a bit sad to leave some out. So I got 5 quick honorable mentions. One of them we've already spoke about today, which is Hokum. I wanted to put Hokum there because I think Hokum is maybe the most terrifying experience I had in the cinema, maybe ever. Maybe it was to do with the fact that I was alone, but I just felt viscerally uncomfortable and scared the entire time. And I was actually like sitting next to this guy. I had no, like, this couple came in and I didn't know who they were, and they ended up sitting next to me. And, you know, there's like long stretches, minute-long stretches where you're holding your breath and you know something's going to happen. And then the thing, you know, finally happens or doesn't happen in some cases. And me and the guy would just like look at each other and let out like a big breath and just be like, fucking hell, like that to each other. So Hokum, I wanted to get out there. Oculus,
good movie,
which I rewatched literally like a couple of hours ago.
Oh, nice.
Paranormal Activity, because even though like I think by now its kind of format and stuff has been rinsed to death, what it did for horror when it came out is very noteworthy, I think. And I was a kid when that came out, and everyone was talking about Paranormal Activity, and it was scary as fuck at the time.
It is number 11 on my list. That was this was the main one that I wanted to bring up as an honorable mention. The way that the sound works to make you anticipate things in this movie is so masterfully done, and now it's been done to death in a bunch of different films.
Yeah, it's a shame what they did to Paranormal Activity, because that first one, special, really good. And then my last 2 honorable mentions is Wolf Creek, which I think is just one of the most like hopeless and grim and sad movies of all time. And it's like that thing that you were talking about, like things that like could actually happen. Like nothing in this movie is about supernatural. It's just about a guy, just literally a guy and helpless people. That is it. And it's sickening. And then my number 11 is Hell House LLC.
Good call. Good call.
Yeah, love that. Okay, So 10. I did grab the physical releases that I have as well.
Oh,
I did have that.
I didn't grab any of them.
Yeah, for the ones that I do own. Some of these I don't own. So, for my number 10 is one we also spoke about. Is Oddity.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Though I think Hokum is a more outright, like, scarier movie than Oddity. I think Oddity is just a better crafted movie in general and uses its scares more efficiently than Hokum does. Like, I feel like Hokum is just trying to, like, terrify you for the whole thing, whereas Oddity is using it in specific spurts to, you know, maximize its effectiveness. And yeah, it's just such a special movie. Such, like, for the budget and all of that stuff that it has, you know, the total cast is like 4 people, and they all crush. However long they're on screen for. Some of the props that they have. There's like this dude that was like viral for a while. That guy.
Yeah.
When he shows up, it's literally just like this wooden mannequin thing, but like you just know something's up with it, and you can't take your eyes off it. And anytime the camera pans away from it, like you get this gut sickening feeling because you don't want it to go back to whatever the fuck that thing is. So yeah, brilliant movie. And I won't say too much because obviously you haven't seen it and such, but yeah, go and watch Oddity. It's so good.
I have not seen it. I really want to. It is on the list for very soon. That and Caveat both look very good, and Damien McCarthy's great at what he does. My number 10, kind of very curious about you and how you feel about this one, because for some people, they hate this movie because there is a child in it. My number 10 is The Babadook.
Yeah, the kid stuff like doesn't really bother me too much. I guess that's because I don't have kids, I guess. But like, my thing with the Babadook is the kid is really annoying.
Right.
And that distracts me. So like, there's a scene where like I'll get really into it and I'm terrified, and then the kid does something and I get pulled out immediately. And it becomes harder to get through for me personally.
So,
but
for me,
I have low tolerance.
Granted, yes, I do have kids. That is just a portion of it. The first time I saw this movie, I believe, had literally just found out that my wife was pregnant, and watching this movie and seeing the baffled terror in the mother's face in this movie is like one of the scariest things for me. Knowing that you're going through this hellacious experience of this grief and confusion and loss and all of that while trying to deal with a kid who's clearly on the spectrum and always just a terror and terror in a way that's not scary movie, but he is an embodied terror. Then having the 2 kids that I have, and they both end up being autistic, and one of them being ADHD, and the oldest one has at times reminded me of the child in this movie. This movie hits way closer to home now. The kid in this is incredible, but nobody talks about this film long enough to talk about how great the mother is in this film. And again, the fear of the situations is one thing, but understanding that you're supposed to hold it together for a child while going through all of this, and the actual, like, very on the nose metaphors about parenthood surrounding fear and having an actual life around those moments is what makes this movie scary for me. Sure, the Babadook is not real. This is a very supernatural thing. It's not going to be possible, but the everyday situations that the child places the parent in this movie, terrifying. It is absolutely something that rocks your world. If you take a moment of empathy in this movie, it is absolutely shocking how immediately uncomfortable you are. And not just because you're hearing screaming, just placing yourself in her shoes and going, what, like, how do I survive and not want to literally beat the living fuck out of this child as you're like essentially being tortured? It is crazy to try to think about that. Yeah, incredible performances all around. This movie is shot beautifully. Australian horror movie done right, and it should be number 10. It's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, the look of the movie is unreal, and the Babadook design is fantastic.
So good.
And I think all the ways that they present the Babadook in the movie as well, like the Babadook itself, like with all the shadows and everything, is like so creative and beautiful.
Yep.
It's also one of those movies that manages to make its cinematography like dark but not ugly,
and you can still see things, even though it is dark.
Yeah. Because obviously the Babadook and stuff is like it's playing a lot on blackness and shadows and stuff like that, but everything is still legible. And all that stuff. So yeah, it's shot very, very beautifully.
Agreed. All right, number 9.
Okay, my number 9 is Eden Lake. Have you seen Eden Lake?
I have. Yeah, this one tough to talk about.
Yeah, I think Eden Lake is the most joyless movie ever made. There is not a single fucking minute of this movie that's enjoyable. It makes me feel sick from the time they get to the beach till the very end, till the credits roll. Yeah. It is there's just, especially on a rewatch when you know how everything turns out and stuff like that, it's so hopeless and scary and terrifying and oddly real. Things like this aren't gonna happen every day, and stuff like that, but they certainly do happen and can happen. And I think the ending that is so controversial is so impactful because it feels real. I think if they went for the ending that everybody would have preferred, it would have ultimately been a weaker movie for it. So yeah, that's my pick. It's shockingly disgusting.
Yeah. How do you talk about Eden Lake? For most people, this is not a film I could recommend even.
No, you can't tell someone they should watch Eden Lake. You just can't.
That feels like a personal affront. Hey, you should watch Eden Lake.
Yeah, this is like a movie where if you go to Letterboxd and see your friends that have seen it, they're either going to be on the 4 to 5 or the 1.5 to half a star spectrum. There's rarely ever someone that's in the middle was yeah, that was a decent, it's either someone really appreciates what it's going for or absolutely hates the feeling that it gives you, therefore, hates the movie.
Yeah. Okay, my number 9 is probably my only semi-obscure film on the list, but by now I think a lot of people have probably seen this. I think it was classified as a Shudder original or Shudder exclusive or whatever it's called. Number 9 is 2017's Terrified. I assume that's not on your list.
Tis not. I'm just verifying this is the movie I think it is.
Terrified is directed by Damien Rugna, the same guy that did When Evil Lurks, and is about a police captain or commissioner or whatever they call him. It's an Argentinian film. I don't remember if I said that. This police captain and 3 researchers that are looking into supernatural phenomena. They're investigating these events that happen in this neighborhood from 2 houses across the street from each other. And there's a couple scenes in Terrified that you probably, after watching this movie, will not be able to forget ever. There's one scene specifically where you sort of you can tell what is about to be shown on screen, and when they show it, you just still were not ready for it. And it is so well shot. There are things in this movie that make you question your own reality, which is another thing I love about films. And again, this is another one of those moments where most of the things that are scary about this film, not realistic in any way, even though that's the thing that scares me the most. But this film really, it fucks with you in a way that makes you go, why did I think that was going to be like that? Or did I actually see what I thought I just saw? Or why am I scared in this moment? And the way that they unnerve you in this. And if you've seen When Evil Lurks, it is a very similar feeling to what he does many times in that movie. But Damien Rugna is just an incredible director, and the performances in this movie are so authentic and true to like a version of like folk horror that you're finding yourself in. And When Evil Lurks was the exact same way. You're bathed suddenly in a different society's culture, and as long as you're willing to allow that to happen, everything just feels more real. It feels more leveled up in those moments. It's heightened, and I just truly love this movie. It is so unique in how they approach things, and again, shot well. Even though it's a fairly dark movie, you can see everything. It is very well written. Seek it out if you've not seen it. Again, by far my most independent, low scene film on my list. I imagine this has the least amount of views on Letterboxd, but still, great movie. It's not even a decade old, and I feel like people are not talking about Terrified enough. If you liked When Evil Lurks, check out Terrified.
Yeah, I've been meaning to check out Terrified ever since I watched When Evil Lurks. So yeah, I will get to it at some point. So obviously, it's not on my list.
It is so good.
Okay, my number 8 is Insidious.
Not on my list. That was very close to making my list. I went with another choice.
I'm going to assume it's like The Conjuring. So I felt like I had to put a like 2010s James Wan movie here because I think he just kind of reinvented how jump scares are utilized in movies, how music is utilized in horror, and all this stuff. And yeah, Insidious, I think, does it slightly better than The Conjuring. I don't particularly love either one. There's James Wan movies I love far more than either, but I think Insidious, just like two individual moments, I think have some of the most striking uses of jump scares and specific terrifying scenes, like the Darth Maul jump scare.
Yeah.
Probably the most effective jump scare I've ever experienced in my life.
Wow.
Yeah, fucking my arsehole fell out the first time I watched that movie. And then at the very end with the camera thing with the father and the old lady. Yeah, it's and also what's that guy's name? The tiptoe through the window guy. Like
you mean that guy, Tiny Tim? He's in Blood Harvest, yeah.
Ah, okay. Yeah, he just has an inherently sinister aura.
Yeah.
And I think James Wan really just unlocked that in this movie, like, to the T. It's the best use of music in a horror movie, I think. Well, like, pre-existing music anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just felt like I had to put one of those here, and I went with Insidious.
It's a strong damn choice. Again, one that I almost went with, but I chose something else, and we'll happily talk about that in a little while. My number 8, I have a feeling you may have chosen as well. My number 8 is The Descent.
Ah, no. So, I have never seen The Descent.
Whoa!
I know. I have this. I literally purchased The Descent like 3 months ago, and it is sitting by my TV downstairs, and I am just waiting to watch it. I keep meaning to watch it, but I've just not got around to it yet.
So The Descent works on multiple levels for me. Obviously, we all know, and this is not a spoiler, I'm sure that you've had society tell you things about what's in this movie. Creatures in this movie, they're made in a very scary way. They are viscerally terrifying. The other big thing is I grew up I wouldn't say spelunking, but I grew up near some mining areas in the foothills in California. It's the gold rush. There was a silver rush. I've been into all kinds of silver mines. We used to explore in many of them, And quite often, because of the like acoustics of caves, things would start to screw with you, and you would start to feel like you're hearing things, and you're in the desert. And so we would be like hearing a mice move, and it would sound super big because it's echoing like crazy. Or you would get stuck somewhere, and suddenly like you don't realize you climbed across this thing that you shouldn't have been climbing across, and you're stuck. Anyways, the Descent does all of that very well. So not only are you afraid of creatures, you're vulnerable, you're stuck into a situation, you're where nobody can find you, and it tells a story that is compelling, that is well written, that is incredibly acted. Love The Descent. I'm so glad that people are seeing it again, and this 4K came out recently, and people are all stoked about The Descent again. Please give it some love. That movie deserves every accolade. It is easily one of the best movies of the last 25 years. Adore this film, and it's truly a terrifying film.
I am definitely going to get into it. It reminds me of I mean, I've not seen it, so I can't be fully sure, but from what I know of it, it reminds me of a movie that really nearly made the list, which was As Above, So Below.
A bit.
And
I love that movie.
I absolutely adore As Above, So Below. And literally, there's one scene. There is only one scene in that movie that completely took it out of the running for this list. And it's when one person's like, it's near the end when they're running through, and one of like the statues or ghouls or something like shows up, and they just like blast through it and knock it down.
Mm-hmm.
And it makes me laugh so hard every time I see that scene that like it completely kills the scariness for me.
Yeah.
Because it is so fucking hilarious how quickly someone just like blasts through the most terrifying thing you've ever seen in your life. Like it's not even there.
It's nothing.
It kills me. So yeah, but it kind of reminds me of that.
Definitely could see that being a tough watch, Adam. Yeah. If you've got agoraphobia and claustrophobia, The Descent, you're screwed from moment one. All right. On to number 7.
This is one I do own, and again, we spoke about it. Evil Dead 2013. On your list? No? Yes, no?
Not on my list. I don't see this as scary for me, actually.
I get you. I can see, like, why not? But I think I have very specific memories. So this is the first Evil Dead movie I ever watched. Because obviously this came out 2013. I was born 2001. So when this movie came out, I was like 12, 13, So like, I was like...
Christ.
I was prime, like, getting into, like, horror, like, independently when this movie came out. And it was massive. It was huge. So, like, me and my friends, like, we found it on, like, this illegal torrenting site. And all sat in, like, my living room and watched it at, like, 11 at night. And it was the scariest thing any of us had ever really seen. And I still have that, like, childhood dread when watching it. And, yeah, I think it's just absolutely flawless. It's a wonderful movie. And it even says on the cover, so you can't even deny, terrifying. So it's right there. You can't really argue it. It's on the box, so it has to be true.
Well, my number 9 was Terrified, so you know that one.
But yeah, it's a flawless movie. And I also think, like, a lot of horror does anyway, but like the helplessness, like women face and stuff like that. I think they redo, like, the tree rape scene in the first Evil Dead movie is so abrasive and out of nowhere. And I think they do, like, a very tasteful's an odd word to use, but like a tasteful reimagining of that scene to make it fit the tone better whilst also still being terrifying. So yeah, I think they take every idea that the first Evil Dead movie has, play it completely seriously, and make it better. So yeah, that's where I'm at.
Love this movie. I genuinely think it is a more than like a 9 out of 10 for me. I truly love the Evil Dead film. I don't see it as scary. I see a lot of it as cringe violence, which is also feeling inducing, which I love in movies.
Mm-hmm.
Jane Levy is great in this film. People are not ready for Evil Dead Wrath when that comes out in a couple of years. I will say that. It's going to be a good time.
I hope it's better than Burn.
I will have to keep my mouth shut because of NDAs.
Okay.
Number 7. My number 7 is The Autopsy of Jane Doe.
Missed the list.
Missed the list. So The Autopsy of Jane Doe is from 2016, 2017, something like that. This is a movie with Emile Hirsch and Brian Cox. We talked about Brian Cox a lot earlier, and I was like, haha, we get to talk about him more later. This is about a father and son who work at a mortuary, and they get an unidentified corpse. And since you're in a mortuary, anything that's happening is terrifying. You're already creeped out. Death is always around you, and things start to get really freaking weird. This movie is so well made, and a movie that is so unassuming about an autopsy happening. And you're like, how can this even be a feature-length film? It does not overstay its welcome. It does not waste a lot. This movie is personal and meaningful to both of the characters, and really well, pardon the pun, fleshed out. I am always excited to rewatch this movie. So stoked that Severn brought some new attention to this with a new 4K this year as well. I will get that 4K at some point, but genuinely, I think this was one of, especially compared to the rest of my list, one of the most unnerving first-time watches for me. Because again, I was so ready for just a regular like B-movie level modern horror. This is way better than you think it's going to be. And if you're not ready for something like that, it feels borderline immersive. And for the director that did the Troll Hunter, I should have been prepared for that. He's great at getting a lot out of nothing. I've still not seen Last Voyage of the Demeter, which he also did, but this movie is so well made, and it really seems to work for most people. So if you've not seen it, definitely give it a consideration, because very creepy movie. There's some good things done with like some lighting effects, some sound. The sound here is just so well done. This is another one of those like, did I see what I think I just saw? Because this movie's making me question things, and I just love stuff like that. Like, it didn't make my list, but like Midsummer is one of those things for me where they screw with the visuals in a way that you know you're seeing something wrong, and that unsettling sort of uncanny valley, not of people, but just of like, did something move, or like, am I so invested in this that my eyes are like starting to like spin a little bit? Something weird is going on, and that happens in this movie like it did for Midsummer for me.
Yeah, incredible movie. It is so good. It makes me wonder how they got Brian Cox to actually do it.
Yeah.
He is delivering. He's absolutely delivering. And also, like, I feel like a lot of the scariness of this movie is what they leave up to you, then put on the floor. Like, there's so much mystery still in the entire thing. And I think that unknown factor like really contributes to the paranoia and the questions and the fear. It's an incredible movie. The only reason it didn't make my list is because I haven't seen it recent enough to fully back it and make a proper case for it.
Mm-hmm. All right, you are on to number 6.
Number 6 is The Ring, the 2002 American remake by Gore Verbinski.
This was my number 12.
Ah, okay, cool. I think it outclasses the Japanese original in every single facet. I like Ringu. I think it's like a good movie, and it has like some cool concepts, which obviously come from the book anyway, but it has some cool concepts and it visualizes those concepts pretty well. But for a large majority of that movie, it is quite like slow and boring. Whereas like The Ring feels like, even when it's slow, it feels like there's a whole background of things happening that we're not privy to, which make us uncomfortable as viewers, because we need to like be there. We need to see what's happening. And I actually have a video about The Ring, about how it's like the best American remake of like a foreign movie.
Which it's not, but okay.
It is.
I'm just kidding.
So the visual flair of this movie, and I watched like this whole thing about like how they got like the filter and stuff and the green and blue look to this, because none of it was done in post. They were like literally making these filters and putting them on the camera, which is like such a bold move, and I think it speaks to the confidence that they had in making the movie, because you can't undo it. You know, once that's shot, that's what it looks like. You know, you can't take it to the editing floor and take away any of that, or it is what it is now. Like when you take it to the editing floor, and I think when you're watching it, it moves with that confidence. It feels like it handles itself. And as for like the straight up terrifyingness, like Samara is an icon because of this movie. I feel, I think if this movie hadn't come out and it was just left to Ringu, it wouldn't have become like a big kind of iconography in horror. But Samara, because of this movie, is so iconic, and you know, people parody like that shit still to this day. Yeah. And it's still terrifying to this day. And the one specific jump scare when they're talking about the death in the opening, and it cuts to her like in the closet or whatever, and her face is all mangled. Another one of those where my arsehole fell out. What a jump scare! Because obviously almost all jump scares lull you into a false sense of like security to like get you. But like audiences have become so well accustomed to figuring out how the movie's doing that you know it's happening when it's happening. Whereas in that moment, you really don't know it's coming. Like it really lulls you into that false sense of security so well. Because it comes off the back of that massive scary like opening scene that like in your head, because you've seen so many horror movies, you're like, okay, this is where it goes dead now for about 20 minutes before it starts to build. And no, not at all. Like it makes you think that's what's happening, and then it hits you with the loudest jump scare of all time. It's brilliant, and I think it shaped horror to come for like the next couple of years or so.
Oh yeah. And a bunch of people try to emulate that. The coloring from this movie.
Yeah, the aesthetic.
Never worked the same way.
No, it just doesn't.
Another Brian Cox movie, which is amazing. And you got through all that without saying the words Naomi Watts, which is sad. She's incredible in this film. One of the things, too, like, not to harp on somebody's looks, but the child in this is so unique because he's got that sort of unique face where like in a way it almost feels sort of uncanny. He feels like a child that you would see in a horror movie. Like he feels like he's made for this, and clearly neurodivergent in a way where he's probably autistic and acting well over his age.
That's the kind of kid that you see in a supermarket and just go to a different aisle immediately.
Yep.
Scary looking kid. But yeah, I didn't mention Naomi Watts, but I also didn't mention any actor really, because there's just so much to talk about with that movie. I mean, obviously Naomi Watts is one of the greatest of her generation. She's absolutely fantastic, and it's incredible they managed to get her at this time for this movie. Obviously the child actor's great. Brian Cox is utterly fantastic. I think it's one of his best performances, because I think he conceals so much history into like very few lines and movements. It's such an incredible and scary movie.
Well, another incredible and scary movie that I'm excited to talk about is one that you have already mentioned tonight, but it was only because it was on your honorable mention list. My number 6 is Hell House LLC from 2015. I
respect it.
You and I both have always talked about found footage films, and this is one of those situations where the realism gets to me. Now, yes, there is stuff in Hell House LLC, and especially the sequels that get into the supernatural, but most of this movie is done in camera by real people, and there's something going on where it is just fucky, to say it in a really interesting way. There's the clown scene in this is just so well done. Well, there's two clown scenes that are really well done. This movie is done just to keep you on edge and like looking all over your screen. Something is happening. I know that this is happening. It's a found footage movie, so the framing is very specific. We're moving in a way that you're already on guard and on edge because you're constantly moving. The story itself, it definitely one that if you go to a lot of like haunts or horror events, you got to think about like they're hiring actors. At any point, somebody in one of these things could just lose their fucking mind and start to kill people, and you wouldn't know for a few minutes. It would be terrifying. It would be truly scary. And the way that they craft the story, it is definitely enough to keep you on edge. I truly love this first movie. We've said it on here many, many times before. The second and third, they each have their moments, but they're kind of just a repeat of each other. It's basically the first one 2 more times, but less good and not as unique, although they each have a couple scenes that are really interesting. The fourth one comes back, and it's strong as hell. It is super scary, very well made. Carmichael Manor is great. And then the fifth one happens, and it's a pile of dog water. It is one of the worst movies that came out that year. I do not understand this weird trajectory that Stephen Cognetti is taking this franchise on. I really hope he's done with it at this point. I am so exciting about... I was so excited to see what he would do next. And then he just made another one, and it was like, we really didn't need another one. It's real bad. Craig, you've never heard the term dog water? Yeah, dog water is just garbage. It's trash. Terrible movie. Hell House LLC, though, the first one, you don't need to know anything going into it. The story does get sort of mired down by lore at some point, which isn't necessary. Like, you don't need to pay attention to all the details. It does sort of increase the enjoyment of the fourth one if you really know everything. But that's it. It's just, I don't know. That first one is unsettling to a very interesting degree.
Yeah, I'm in love with that first movie. I think I've mentioned it maybe on here before, but I had actually seen the Carmichael Manor movie first.
Oh,
because
weird.
Yeah, I didn't know it was part of like a franchise. So, and when you're watching it, like it alludes to other things, but not so much in a way that like makes you think like independently that it is a sequel of some kind or a prequel. It just alludes to some events, and it wraps up all of this like things that it's talking about. So like it's not necessarily like necessary for you to have seen Hell House, but I did remember distinctly feeling when I came out of it like I didn't fully understand the end and all that stuff, and I was like, but it was a fantastic movie up until the end, which I didn't like completely understand. And then when I went to go and like look at it, I was like, oh shit, this is like the fourth movie. That's okay, that makes sense. So then I went and watched the others, and I just fell in love with the first movie. I think you were the first person I told after I watched it. I was like, this is because I remember I asked you, I was like, are there any good releases of these movies? And then you had like linked me like one of the releases, but like first movie is so good.
It is. I won't say it's a strong franchise, but 2 out of 4 are very, very good, and then the other 2 are passable. They're like pale comparisons of the first film, but they each have their moments. They all have at least one moment where you're like very on edge, and they're all worth a watch. But nothing can beat that first one.
Yeah, the first one is just something special, and I do understand to a degree why Cognetti like is chasing that high, of trying to replicate it, but also at a certain point, it's like you're just not going to, like, it's not a thing that works multiple times around, because we know the format too well. It's like the Paranormal Activity effects, like it's just I know what's happening here, and the twist. There's a nice little twist in Hell House, which floored me. Didn't see it coming at all. But I'm also not like looking for that stuff, so it might have been obvious. But
Well, and I will say, I don't know. In fact, I don't remember you and I talking about this. The last 45 seconds of the movie, I don't love. I love when it's a little more grounded in realism and not in the CGI aspect that they start to lean into a couple times.
Yeah, it's rough.
That supernatural ending did not need to go there.
No. Honestly, you could even imply that it happened. I just seeing it is the worst part.
100%.
Yeah.
All right, top half of the lists.
Yes. I have a steelbook here. But I will preface the reason I have the steelbook for this particular one is when I went shopping, they were all sold out of the general 4K of it. So this was the only way I could get a 4K of it because it sold out immediately. Which is Talk to Me.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I don't have the is it Second Sight that put this out?
I think so.
Yeah, which it looks appealing, and I wanted to get it, but I was like, I already own a 4K of it, so I just felt a bit dumb getting rid of a 4K just for another 4K. What a movie! I mean, what a debut! I had grown up watching Raka Raka on YouTube, because I was just that generation, and I loved their YouTube videos, and then obviously I grew up, so I kind of grew out of what they were doing and stuff. But then when I found out they were making a movie, I was like, oh, that sounds interesting that they're doing a movie. Oh, it's a horror, okay, because everyone would expect them to do an action movie or something.
Yeah.
And I went to go and see it in the cinema, and I was so floored. I go beyond this. This is not just one of the scariest movies of this century. It is just one of the best movies of this century, period. Wow. It is such an efficient and brutal, honest, well shot, well thought out movie. I think every aspect of this film was so well thought about before it was even shot. I feel like they knew exactly what they wanted it to be, who they wanted to do it. Every bit of casting is pin perfect, especially the younger boy, and the one particular scene of him, after he uses the hand and all that stuff, is some of the most viscerally uncomfortable imagery I've ever had to sit through in a movie. And still now, I can't really bring myself to watch it when it happens. I do have to kind of turn for a bit. Yeah, absolutely horrific movie. And yeah.
I like it a lot. I will say that the audio in this movie is particularly terrifying. They get some scenes in this on audio that very unnerving. There's the one scene where you get the glimpse into the thing, and the audio where it is so immersive in a studio theater setting that you are genuinely kind of unable to tell if there are not just people whispering in your ear. It is crazy how they pulled that off. I like this movie a lot. I think it's a little on the nose for a drug metaphor. I do like the film quite a bit. The acting is great. I will say the what is the dude's name? Bird, Joe Bird, that is in this. He was great in that movie Leviticus that came out this year. But yeah, I like this a lot. Really like Bring Her Back as well. Good film. Not on my list.
Yeah, I debated putting Bring Her Back on this list, but I think it's just one of those where it's more visceral than scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. My number 5 is another one that you brought up earlier that I don't believe is on your list based on what you were saying. My number 5 is The Conjuring. And I will say, I think this is one of the rare mainstream, sort of capital H across the bow, easy shot horror movies that just works. This feels like a trope filled what ends up being masterpiece. I truly think the first Conjuring film is magnificently shot. I think it is set up in a way where there are, the clap game scare, which is great. The other big one for a lot of people is the armoire scare, which is incredible. There are scenes in this that are not just jump scare heavy, which I know a lot of people think of The Conjuring and they just think of jump scares. This movie's just well done as far as supernatural scares. The characters of Ed and Lorraine, which are horrific people in real life, nobody's taken away from that. But the stories surrounding them, they can be intriguing, and it leads to some fun writing. I think Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga really lean into these characters in a way that you feel oddly acquainted with something that most of us watch this and go, oh yeah, this is all BS. None of this can be real. And then they pull off this empathy machine for you that you are just sucked into everything. And then, I don't know, there's so many characters in this first Conjuring movie that, like, I on rewatch, I always seem to forget that they're a part of it. Like, Ron Livingston is great in this movie. He is such a perfect everyman for what this third act needs in this. The family is so just easily relatable. The setting is great, and it's got that borderline gothic feel to the way that they shot this, even though most of the visuals are not like overtly gothic. It just has that feeling, which I think kind of started to lean into a lot of the type of shooting that we got from, you know, later on people like Mike Flanagan, who's done a lot of that with like Haunting a Hill House. The Conjuring, I think, is just supremely well done. It is truly filled with dread. Love this movie. And this is one I'm eager to show my kids because I think it will scare the shit out of them.
Yeah. Like I said before, I was in between putting Insidious and The Conjuring like on. They're kind of interchangeable to me because they're like, you know, James Wan movies made within pretty much the same period, like within 3 years of each other, and they both kind of rely on roughly the same premise, and kind of antics and whatever. I think he just took what he learned from Insidious and then built on it for The Conjuring. And also I'll give The Conjuring like Insidious doesn't have a Vera Farmiga in it. Vera Farmiga in The Conjuring is one of my favorite horror performances of all time. Like, she is so fantastic and splendid in that movie. And yeah, it's perfect. Like, it's easy to say like now that it is so like trope filled and cliche and blah blah blah, but like I don't think at the time it was. I think like it used a lot of these cliches quite cleverly, but I think it created a format that became so prevalent afterwards that like it retrospectively became a massive cliche of a movie because, you know, just everything since took from it, especially its sequels and like universe tie-in movies. And it just felt like for like 10 years people were trying to replicate what James Wan did in Insidious and The Conjuring, and they just couldn't quite get why it worked for him and not them. And the simple reason is that he's James Wan and they're not.
It's true. Very, very true.
Yeah. Right, so 4. I don't have a physical release for because nobody does, because it doesn't exist yet.
Barbarian. I used to have a poster of it on that wall, but I had to take it down because I had to put a bookshelf up. I recently showed this movie to my fiance because I thought I had shown it to her years ago, and apparently I hadn't. But she loved weapons, so I was like, "Oh, you have to see Barbarian." Yeah,
and the way this movie evolves its horror is so clever and so wonderful. Like those first like 20 minutes when the horror is this woman in this, you know, Airbnb with Bill Skarsgård, and the way the movie so cleverly uses the casting of Bill Skarsgård to make that an inherently, like, because if it's anyone else, it's unnerving and awkward, but I don't think explicitly terrifying. but like his singular use, like using actual like real life context to make your scene scarier is so impressive. And yeah, the way like it moves from that to like actual horror with the mother and all of that stuff, and then the little sequence with Frank's backstory, how that brings its own like unique little bit of horror, to the final bit with like the way Justin Long acts and all this stuff. Like it's like a different type of horror. It's like a new type of terrifying every 20 to 30 minutes, which is just such an impressive thing to pull off. And it's not really a spoiler. So the first scene where she goes down in the basement and she discovers the room with the camera, I don't think there is a single scarier thing to find in a house than a hidden room with a fucking metal frame bed with a mattress with no sheets and a camera. That is the most terrifying visual I have ever seen. Just the implied history of that room makes my skin crawl. And as soon as she sees that and leaves immediately, is maybe the smartest thing anyone has ever done in a horror movie. Yeah, wonderful movie.
Yeah, I mean, I like Barbarian a lot. I'm really glad it's finally getting a physical release. I think the movie is supremely well done for somebody that has a primarily comedic background. Love that we get Justin Long in this movie, even though that was never used in the marketing. Yeah, that the first third of this movie, I think, is a masterclass in dread and proper writing and allowing scenes to breathe. That scene, or I shouldn't say scene, that whole act in any other movie would have been breezed right through. And instead, they let you linger and get comfortable and feel uneasy before you get comfortable. And that alone sets you up for the whole film. And it is kind of like the emotions that you as a viewer are going to go through for the entire movie, and how they go through in those scenes are sort of the exact same thing. So I think that is great. It's a very tense movie. It is a film that shot well. Yeah, I mean, not much else to say about it. Not on my list, but very, very good. I'm glad that you love it.
I love that like this movie was such a cultural reset that it just gets to be Zach Cregger's first movie for some reason. Like people call this like Zach Cregger's debut movie. Like I love it's like the same way that like The Sixth Sense gets to be M. Night Shyamalan's first movie, just because like it was the first thing that made everyone notice.
Yep.
Pretty insane stuff.
Yes, it is. My number 4. This is one that the moment we decided we were doing this, I wrote down, this is going to be my number 1. There's no way anything else beats this. And then I remembered 3 other movies. My number 4 is a movie by Scott Derrickson, which I truly love. And that is 2012's Sinister, starring Ethan Hawke. This is about a horror writer who is out of ideas and has not had a hit in years, and he is trying to find a way to make a good book, and now he is finding himself a snuff film and sort of a mystery involved in that snuff film. And so he moves his whole family, for some God knows reason, into the house where the snuff film occurred, basically. And he starts to see some other films, and things happen, and things are not going well. This movie is so freaking just scary. Like, that's it. That's the only way to sell this movie. It feels sinister watching this film. And Ethan Hawke really sort of started to, for me, around this time, cement himself as one of my favorite actors of this generation. Yeah. This movie is so well done, and it only hinges on his performance. Like, you have other great names in this. Vincent D'Onofrio's in this. James Ransone is in this, who was later also in The Black Phone with him. But without Ethan Hawke, this movie would not have been the same. It would not have worked like this. It is so well done because Ethan sells it. He is everything that character needed to be in every single scene. And gosh, these 8mm projections that they filmed for this are so well done and realistic, and feel like they were shot on 8mm 15 years prior, and you're actually viewing something happen, and everything feels wrong to see. And those like nail on the chalkboard moments of this film are the only thing that really gets under my skin about this. And for that reason, like, I cannot go a couple months without thinking of crazy scenes from this film and how much they have viscerally affected my life.
Yeah, I don't have Sinister on my thing. Truthfully, I forgot about Sinister until a couple minutes before we started. And I was looking at my list and I was like, I'm missing something obvious here. And then I remembered Sinister, but then I told myself it doesn't really matter because Ryan's going to have it on his list anyway, so we could talk about it regardless. Ethan Hawke, it's stupid to say this, is one of the most underrated actors of all time, I think. Like, he never gets a mention when people are talking about the Denzels and the Leos and the Pitts and just all these great actors, the James Caans and the whatever. Like, he never gets brought up, and he should, because if there's a movie and Ethan Hawke is in it, he is more than likely the best thing in that movie.
Yeah,
it is very, very uncommon for him not to be the best thing in a movie. Like, the only example I can really think of, like, off the top of my head, is Training Day, and that's not even because, like, he's just fair. Not. It's just not fair. You've got Denzel probably at the peak of his career, like, giving probably the best performance that he's ever given, other than maybe Malcolm X. So it's just not fair. But if that performance was in any other movie, that's the best performance in the movie. And it goes for the same in Sinister. It's an understated performance. It's not like a big overt long monologue classic kind of performance, but like, it is so effective in what it does. And for a concept that is admittedly quite silly. I mean, most like horror movies are built on silly premises, but this one like seems particularly like odd. Yeah. Like in the choices that characters make, but Ethan Hawke just manages to sell it so well. And it's something that he does time and time again. Like, same with the Black Phone, and even especially the Black Phone too. Like, the concepts for those movies are quite outlandish, and they're not executed as best as they could be. But you forget about all of that when Ethan Hawke is on screen doing stuff.
Yep.
He's just so miraculous on screen, and yeah, Sinister is just one of those. And like, you've already mentioned everything that's so great about that movie anyway. But yeah, I'm due a rewatch of Sinister anyway.
Me too. It's been a while. Great movie. Top 3 time. And now I'm quite curious if we're going to have any crossover. I'm assuming at least one of these will be.
Yeah,
no,
we've not.
Not yet.
No, that's interesting. 28 days later. This is the DVD, because I don't have like any of the Blu-rays or anything. But even still, I don't see the point.
It's the same quality.
Yeah, you can buy the 4K if you like, but it's still just going to look like this movie. So, whatever. The greatest zombie movie ever created, if we can classify it as a zombie movie. I do, but I know some people don't, so it's whatever. But if we are, I think it's the greatest. It is... Like, the camera quality, I know, like, in present day, a lot of people attribute to its time, but it isn't. Danny Boyle, for sure, could have got a better camera.
Choice.
Yeah, he could have. Even if he was on a shoestring budget, better cameras than that just existed on that budget. This was a conscious choice, and it is an intelligent choice. It makes everything feel so visceral and terrifying. Just low quality makes everything scary, like Sinister proves. If those like snuff films were like in HD, I think they instantly become less terrifying. And yeah, this movie is just a case study, and I think the way that this movie like treats Rage as like the villain, they are the scariest zombies put on screen. Like, they are genuinely terrifying, and not for the idea that like they've got a whole bunch of like crazy makeup, or you know, they have like some kind of I don't know, physical element or audible element. All they have is just the eyes. The eyes is the only teller. It's the performances of the rage virus that like really, really capture that fear in the audience. And I think the way Cillian Murphy, like he's the kind of surrogate for the audience of just being like, he's waking up in this world the same way we are. And he is completely lost in this world where something has overtaken it all, and he has no idea what it is. And he's learning as we're learning. Just horrific stuff. And then the third act on the army base is kind of horrific for a whole different reason. Brendan Gleeson in this movie is so wonderfully fantastic. Again, Brendan Gleeson, I think, is audaciously a top 10 actor all time. I'm just gonna put that out there. And this is, this movie kind of is almost proof why. Like, his role realistically is nothing. He's just got to be the father of a little girl trying to get her to a safe place. The vehicle is Cillian Murphy. And yet somehow anytime Gleeson is on screen, he absolutely steals it with his like endurance and love as a father, which only makes the rage virus more scary, because you meet Naomi, yeah, I feel like I'm tripping there. Naomi Harris. Yes, Naomi Harris. Who's very like ambivalent about human life, very indifferent. It's about her. And then there's Cillian Murphy, who quite doesn't know where to land, because he's just ended up here today. And then you spend some time with him, and then you get to Brendan Gleeson, who is not ambivalent about human life at all. He is still like a hopeful person. He still cares about people. He still cares about love and the things and laughter. And that makes the rage virus just so terrifying, because in a world where that still exists, those creatures, those people, that virus existing is the worst thing that could possibly happen. And also the intro with the chimp that has the rage virus is just viscerally terrifying. So yeah,
I love this movie. I think there's a lot of great scenes. I don't think this is the greatest zombie movie ever. I apologize.
I'm fine with that.
I don't know if it's a spicy take or whatever. I'm quite fond of Train to Busan. Like, might be the one that gets me there.
Okay.
I do think the bird scene with Brendan Gleeson is one of the best scenes captured in any zombie film. I think it's the reality of the situation, the hopelessness that occurs immediately is such it's just a kick in the balls. Like, immediately you're just like, fuck, they did everything right, got to this point, and still just got fucked. And that sucks so much.
And a particular moment that's a highlight for me in that script also, but like Gleeson delivers it so well, is when, they're on the balcony and he's trying to convince them to go with him. And he tells them that he heard them, through the walls. Naomi Harris's character was basically saying, we need to drop these because it's a father and a daughter. They're only going to slow us down. They're going to get us killed. And he makes note that he heard them say that, but also like he doesn't really mind because he understands. And there's just like that like small bit of just like, I understand where you're coming from, and I'm not angry that you said those things. There's like a strong sense of humanity in him in that moment.
Yeah.
Which makes you want them to win so much more. So
yeah, this, I don't know. This is one of the better zombie movies for hopelessness, and a lot of them grapple with that, obviously. But this truly like fulfills that. I don't know, that like lost cause type of moment, that a real, I mean, I don't know how to use the word real in regards to a zombie apocalypse, but like the realistic logical determination in a zombie apocalypse is just, this is a lost cause. We are fucked. There's no way that you're recovering from this ever. And 28 Days actually does sort of get that across.
Yeah. I mean, like, also like to the fear part, like from the very first time we encounter like a horde of the, like when he's gone back to like his mom's house, you know, and he sees his parents have like passed away and that whole thing, and then they get attacked. Someone dies like immediately in that scene, and it instantly puts you on the edge of like, oh, like anyone really is up for grabs. Yeah. Like they just introduced, you know, this person and now they're gone. Like 5 minutes later, which I think like really also drives home kind of, you're not supposed to feel safe around any of these characters. You know, Brendan Gleeson is not infallible just because he's a father, and the young girl is not infallible just because she's a young girl. And yeah, I think that's very powerful.
I agree. Solid choice. I love it. All right, my number, God, we're on 3. My number 3 is the first one that I'm worried that there's going to be like a real chance for crossover here. 2018's Hereditary by Ari Aster.
Nope.
So Hereditary, like, we don't need to say much. Most people have seen this. It's scary for a reason. We all know, like, Toni Collette is... This is a masterclass in acting. She is the scariest thing about this movie. She delivers a couple scenes that will make you jump out of your skin, particularly the ceiling scene where you are paying attention to something happening, and then unbeknownst to you, she was there for 25 seconds, and you could see her without seeing her. That is masterclass filmmaking in and of itself. The story itself here, wild. Obviously, the idea of a cult film like this... not super realistic, but I do think that as far as terror goes, this is up there for me. That being said, I don't love this like everybody else. I have this at a solid like 4 out of 5 stars. It's just one of those things where it does get the heart rate going, and it is scary. I don't see it as the masterpiece that the world saw it for a little while. It's been a while since I've seen it because it's a very loud and frenetic movie, not one that I want to rewatch every few months or anything like that. But Toni Collette, genuinely, like, there's no argument there. She is just incredible in it. Alex Wolff, very, very good in this movie as well. Millie Shapiro, not in this for a lot, obviously, but what she does is very, very good. I don't know. Ari Aster has done some really great things and some not so great things, and this one is really good for when it was, but overall, not his best. But man, I think this is by far his scariest.
I agree, it's his scariest. I think it's his best. And I have it at 3.5 stars. I don't love it. I think it's perfectly serviceable as a movie. All 3.5 stars go to Toni Collette.
She is by far the best part of this movie.
Yeah, she is the vehicle for that movie. She's absolutely unreal. But like, as a movie overall, I just don't feel much for it.
I'm going to be honest, I've still not seen Beau is Afraid. That's the one everybody says that I'm going to love. And I really loved Eddington. I think that so far is by far my favorite thing he's done.
Yeah, I liked Eddington. I think I gave that 3.5 stars as well. I'm just not like a massive Ari Aster guy.
I get it. I fully get it.
I don't really feel Midsommar. I really don't feel Beau is Afraid. I don't know what the fuck was going on with that movie. Like, I know it's like intentionally supposed to be weird, but I feel like Ari Aster himself kind of got lost in the sauce. Yeah, like he didn't really know where he was going with half of it.
Yep.
And yeah, I don't know. It's just not my thing. Although the famous scene with the head popping off gets a chuckle. gets a chuckle out of me. It is the first time you see it, it's pretty shocking, but like on repeat, it is quite funny.
The head popping off doesn't really get me. What gets me there is her scream when she finds it. That sound is terrifying.
Yeah. Do you know, actually, that I read this thing about Ari Aster once, which actually endeared me more to him than anything else I've ever seen, where like he like finds great joy in making horror movies, and not joy that it brings him a sense of like content, but like joy that it like makes him giggle making horror.
Giddy,
yeah. And he says every time he hears the popping sound in that scene, he cries of laughter because he thinks it's such a goofy sound. And the thought of Ari Aster watching back that scene and crying of laughter when it happens endears me more to him than anything I've ever seen him do. So yeah, it's a good movie, and I think like it's respectable to put here. I would never put it here, but I know I'm like in the overwhelming minority.
Well, let's hear number 2, because my number 2, I feel like we're gonna sync up on one of these.
One of them's probably not, but the other one I'm hopeful for, which is my number 2, which is Wreck.
It's my number 2.
There we go. Finally, we got one. Yeah, I think this is the second most scary movie ever made. Like, still to this day, I know all the scares, I know all the bits, and it freaks me the fuck out. Especially like that third act, all the stuff in the apartment,
attic,
the attic, yeah, just all of that. The woman. It's hard to describe without spoiling any of it, but the woman. Yikes! All the jump scares are ridiculous, but even just all of the build up is absolutely terrifying. Like, it doesn't have to jump at you to make you terrified. Just the constant threat. And my heart is absolutely pounding for the entire runtime. Unreal experience. I don't even know how to really encapsulate it in thoughts.
I also just love the story here. I mean, the idea of a reporter getting stuck in an apartment building and literally being forced to quarantine with a virus like this is terrifying, because they can get footage out. And so the found footage thing works so well here. And just the idea that the government is controlling the safety of the situation and they don't know what the fuck to do. Everybody's confused. You're confused, and you're 100% out of your element. You're not even in your own home. You're not somewhere where you wanted to be, literally. You're not like, you're still new. And that whole, everything about this is just so well made. And the fact that none of the names are recognizable in this movie make it so much better for me. Like, if one of these random people was some random super famous person, it would have not felt the same in any way. But like, all of the realistic neighbors that are a part of this, the fall scene that happens in this movie is incredible. The camera turning in the attic is just such a, like, something is going to happen, but it's so well made that it still gets you. And it's not even just loud sounds. It's truly just what they captured in found footage is so well made. Again, one of the reasons why I love found footage, it does sort of muddy the waters of what a filmmaker can do, but it still takes so much more skill to do that the right way. And that's why there's such a huge difference between this and some of the super shitty, just terrible ass found footage films out there that are just, haha, we're poor and we choose to do this because it's the only way to make a movie like this. No, there are found footage movies like Wreck that were made with this in mind so that they could shoot things in a way that feels very frenetic and very lost and very, no matter what happens, you have the ability to be in camera and make a full 360 and check your surroundings. And they do that in this film. And it's pulled off just magnificently. I love this so much.
I think this is one of those cases where they didn't have a budget to make, like, a big movie. So you're kind of forced into the found footage angle. But then it's also not an excuse to not try.
Right.
They found every reason for the found footage to work, and they made it work for every second. I mean, I enjoy just even like the little bit in the beginning where you're just like at the firehouse.
Yeah.
Like they immerse you into like this actual bit of journalism so well. Like it feels so real. And that's doing so much heavy lifting for the rest of the movie to, you know, to feel real. And yeah, I just love how they just throw you in there. And you are like, the way this is shot, like, really proves that there is a skill to it, because the American remake, Quarantine, is it called?
Yes.
It's pretty much a shot-for-shot remake, and it doesn't feel anywhere near as, you know, polished or terrifying or anything like that, because just replicating something isn't enough. You can't capture that feeling.
Right.
And that feeling comes from like what they put into it, not just how they did it. Yeah, it's such just a impressive and terrifying movie.
I agree. I'm so glad
this was my number one for a long time.
Interesting. This was up there for me too, and my number one felt like it had to be number one. So let's hear your number one.
Yeah, we're not gonna have the same number one. So my number one is Gonjiam Haunted Asylum.
I love this movie.
This is the scariest movie ever made. Like, every single time I watch this, I want to turn it off. It freaks me the fuck out. I watched this. I watched this with my friend Mike. He sometimes comes to my house, and we pick like 3 movies off my shelf and watch them. And I was like, dude, we have to watch Gonjiam. Like, I need to like watch this with you. And we sat and we watched this movie, and we were giggling the entire time, because every time we would look at each other, we were both like the most scared either of us had ever been in our lives. Like, it was like a completely dark room, and we'd be shitting ourselves. And then like we would turn to each other, and we both just like had that like really sorry, you know in to bring up Harry Potter, you know that moment in Harry Potter in the first movie when they're in the flying car and Ron looks towards Harry because he realizes the train's behind them, and he has that very sorry look that Rupert Grint pulls off as a child. That is the look that we both had the entire time we looked at each other. It is so fucking scary. And some of it gets corny with like the effects and whatever, but like I still feel it is just very well executed, and it gets me every time. It's the only horror movie that never fails me, like ever. Like Wreck gets me 95% of the time, but then sometimes I watch it and I'm just fine. Like I kind of get where I'm, going with it. Gonjiam never fails. It just gets me every time.
I love this movie. Glad that you got the second sight. It is so damn good. Yeah, not much else to say. I think this is one of the better found footage movies, again, that works on so many levels. Another one that makes you question what you're seeing. I love some of the reveals in this, in some of the rooms that you're not ready for them. Like they incrementally increase the stakes in what you're seeing in this movie.
Yeah.
And you get comfortable at each stage, which makes it like a continuing elevation of fear. And I think that's really great. Love this movie. Yeah, great choice. Solid choice.
Fitting as well, by the way, because you introduced me to this movie.
I did.
Inadvertently, yeah. I don't know whether it was a show we did or just a show I watched you do, but it was on found footage horror, and you had mentioned this movie, and you had mentioned the second sight release of it, and I was like, right, I made a mental note of it, and I went to HMV like 2 weeks later, and I saw it on the shelf, and I was like, fuck, that's the movie Ryan was talking about, and I picked it up just blind off your recommendation. And I watched it that night, and it scared the fucking shit out of me. And it was like, that night, I was like, that is scarier than Wreck.
Wow.
So, yeah.
I'm glad that I could introduce you to it. Yeah, this is one I don't remember. I got on this train early somehow, which is funny to say about a film that's not that old. What year is this? Do you remember?
Not a clue, I'll be honest.
It's like 2017, 2018, something like that?
Yeah, I was going to guess 2018, but like
Okay.
I couldn't honestly be sure about that.
Yeah, okay. Craig just said 2018 in the chat. So yeah,
Okay.
I feel like I saw this in probably early 2019, and then people started to come around to this finally during like our own quarantine during COVID stuff, and more and more people finally started to see it, and I'm just glad that it's getting out there finally. The second site release definitely pushed a lot of people in this industry to finally check it out. It is so damn good, so well made, great acting. It was fun, good movie. Glad you picked it. My number one, I've talked about it far too many times on the show, but as far as realism goes, the scariest movie for all time for me is The Strangers, just period. The Strangers 2008. I've lived in a small town so much of my life that I literally, like, taking out the garbage at night, saw this movie happening before my eyes. I saw things happening that this, to me, is the best answer for this, because there's nothing unbelievable in this movie. There's nothing illogical in this movie. There's nothing that is impossible to happen in this movie. And the end of it, it is just mankind is disgusting, and it happened because you were home. And that sucks so much. It is depressing. It scary to even imagine some of these scenes happening. People have talked about home invasion in the chat a couple times tonight, and to me, that is the scariest thing. It is vulnerability. It is being where I am comfortable, and the moment that is thrown off, I'm terrified, because there's no reprieve. There is no safe space. There is, like, going under the covers in your own bed does nothing for you. These situations are just a lost cause, like I mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
There's no positive way out of it, because even if you defend yourself, the next day you still aren't going to feel safe in this home anymore. You're ruined. Like, the only way for this to be improved is to move. And even when you move, that next house has to be a giant step up in security for you to feel comfortable ever again. It is the only way to truly rock somebody's world in this way, where no matter where they go, they're on edge. And this movie fucked me up so much. And I every single time struggle with it. I mean, there's the scene that everybody talks about where she's in camera and you're focusing on her and she moves, and suddenly you see that there was one of them behind her in the room. And it's so crazy because there's no sound associated with it. There's nothing actually, pardon the pun, but to borrow the title from one of these, there's nothing sinister technically in that moment. It's just somebody else standing in a room, and it's viscerally terrifying. That situation is so well done and telegraphed in a way that you didn't even have to write anything. You just properly set up a scene with wonderful blocking. And because we know the situation, pants are officially shat. And that's incredible. I love that.
Yeah, I love The Strangers. I have the second sight box set for it. Again, this is one that I do have a video on, and it's called The Trepidation of Home Invasion. And yeah, it was a whole video about, like, just how expertly this movie pulls off the fear of home invasion and how it realizes all of those fears. That scene in particular, I remember speaking about, because it is so impactful, because the idea is less so that he's in the house, which that is part of it, but more so like that he's not doing anything. It's like, it's pure toying, because as well, he's not even in there for her.
Right.
Like, she doesn't see him do that. He is in there to kind of just take on this role of God. Like, he's in there just going like, I could do something if I wanted to right now. Pants were officially shat. I could do something right now, but I'm not going to. I am just going to insert my presence and then make it leave without you even knowing it was here in the first place. It's like, it's absolutely horrific. And And it's just that one line, like, why are you doing this? Because you are home.
Yeah.
One of the most impactful lines in a horror movie ever, I think. It is the most terrifying reasoning. And also, realistically, the most honest and real reason most murders take place. You know, like, you could ask a number of serial killers or murderers, whatever, like, what the motive was, why they did what they did. But generally, the actual answer is just because that person was there. It was wrong place, wrong time for the victim. That's what most of it boils down to. And the Strangers just pulls it off so well. And it's a shame that none of the other movies pull it off quite as well as that first one does. But,
I will say, I do like the second Strangers film. Obviously, the trilogy is awful. We're not going to even talk about that. But the second Strangers film, especially like the pool scene, and there's one scene where Christina Hendricks is getting chased like up through a house, which is a weird way to explain it. But when you see it, you know what I'm talking about. And those couple scenes they're also very well done. And you would think if they would have just approached the film the same way they did the first film, a trailer park setting would have been great for this sort of film. Yeah. There's a lot of ways to hide. There's a lot of ways to make terrifying. There's a lot of ways to bring other random people into this that are around. It just didn't get pulled off the same way. I like the aesthetics of it. It's just not the same. I really wish they would have embraced more of the first film and just sort of expanded it. Would have been great.
Yeah. Also, I feel like these are villains that like you lose more of the more you see them.
Yeah.
More exposure makes them less scary to me. So yeah, that first film is just more than enough to fuel years of horror. And I just saw the comment that Hush is a great home invasion movie. I absolutely love Hush.
It's amazing.
Specifically the what do they call it? The shush cut.
The shush cut, yeah.
Yeah, with like no music or anything. I think that is the best version of that movie. I recently showed that to Amy as well, and she really liked it. But she likes all the Mike Flanagan stuff. So
yeah, I don't think there's been a Mike Flanagan thing I've not at least enjoyed somewhat. Some things I still can't believe he pulled off Dr. Sleep in a way that I felt like was not even just good, but like extremely well done and great, genuinely.
Yeah, I like it more than The Shining, which I know is a bit controversial opinion, but you know.
Again, if you've not seen Dr. Sleep, seek out the director's cut. It's incredible.
Yeah, I own that, so quite glad about that. But yeah, Mike Flanagan is probably my favorite like modern horror director, which is a shame because I couldn't talk about him here, because I think his most like explicitly terrifying projects are TV shows like The Haunting of Hill House or Midnight Mass. Movie wise, he still has like good horror movies like Hush, like Gerald's Game, like Oculus. I did mention Oculus in the honorable mentions, but I just don't think any of them like are quite terrifying enough.
Yeah. Since we brought up Dr. Sleep, I do want to just be giddy about something for a moment. I got really lucky and got in on a commissioned screen print of Dr. Sleep that was done by Graham Humphreys.
Nice.
And it is shipped and on the way to me now, and I cannot frickin' wait to have that thing. Love the art that he did for that.
Yeah. Oh, Midnight Mass was his first dud. That is insane, by the way.
I think Midnight Mass is my favorite thing Mike Flanagan has done.
Yeah,
literally.
It's by far the best thing he has ever done.
I understand people not vibing with the monologues possibly, but that's one of the reasons why I love it. I think it's just so superbly written.
I think there's some of the best monologues ever written.
And I will say, God, how do I say this without sounding like a elitist prick? I met Zach Guilford earlier this year, who is the main person in Midnight Mass, and dude, seeing him after watching Midnight Mass is so surreal. I love it. Yeah.
He I've said that I was saying this to Zach once, but like him and Hamish Linklater need to be bigger Mike Flanagan guys.
100%.
Like, you know, like, because he's already got like an outstanding cast of people. Like, he's got like Henry Thomas on the payroll. Obviously, he's got Kate Siegel. He's got Rahul Kohli,
who's also very good.
Yeah. Samantha Sloyan, who I think is maybe the best actor that he continually gets in his projects. She's so underrated.
Yeah.
As an actor, her performance as Bev in Midnight Mass is just like, I've never hated someone so much. She's monstrously good in that show. Like, to the point where, like, when she gets like shot at a certain point, we know it's going to be okay. It's fine, like, for her anyway. But it still feels good just to see.
Yeah.
It just feels like a win, you know? Like you know when, like,
Society needed that.
A bully is, like, in a fight with, like, a weaker kid, and the weaker kid gets one good punch off before getting beaten up. And it's like, he may have lost the fight, but that one good punch felt really good.
Yeah.
That's what
100%.
that feels like. She is so fantastic. And Robert Longstreet, I think, is one of the most underrated actors of his generation. Everything that he pulls off in Midnight Mass and Doctor Sleep, and his little bit parts, because he's in the Midnight Club as like a nurse or something. He just comes to like change the sheets or whatever when people die.
Yeah.
And he has like one scene where like he delivers a little monologue, and it's so powerful. And his stuff in The Haunting of Hill House, the whole scattered monologue that he does, incredible stuff. Yeah, Victoria Pedretti, unreal. Yeah, everyone that Mike Flanagan gets in his shows and movies is great. And I'm glad to see that he's adopting Matthew Lillard more. I'm excited for that. But yeah, he really should bring back Hamish Linklater a bit more, and Zach Gilford.
Agreed. Yeah, Zach is gonna turn some heads in Evil Dead Wrath. Yeah, this has been a fun topic. I love talking about stuff like this that's like subjective and yet people are gonna start to argue with, because it's something near and dear to people's hearts. And horror is usually big, and we haven't talked about horror in quite some time on here. So thanks for hanging out into the wee morning hours. It is quite late.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, the sun is up. I don't even need to have my light on anymore. It's quite bright outside.
All right. Well, on that note, you should probably take a nap at least.
Yeah. I should go and see where my fiance is. I have no idea where she is in this house. So,
all right. Well, thanks for hanging out tonight, everybody, and Krit, and have a good weekend. Be safe, and we'll see everybody next Thursday. And Krit, we'll see you in who knows when. Hopefully you're back into movies soon.
Yeah, someday.
All right. See y'all. Have a good one. Thank you for watching The Disconnected. On the way out, make sure that you are subscribed to the channel, that you've liked the video, and that you've copied the link to be able to share it with someone else that may appreciate this.
The audio commentary. It's a dying art form, but here at One Track Mind, I, your wonky yet affable host Ryan Luis Rodriguez, analyze film through the prism of these embryonic forms of podcasting, one audio commentary at a time. Masterpieces, crapster pieces, live action, animation, cult classics, films literally no one has ever heard of. No track is too small, and no track is too big. Join me and my guests from the entertainment world as we keep these features alive every other Tuesday. Hey, Who else is going to discuss Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey one week and Citizen Kane the next? Us. That's who. Sure, you have to put up with my voice, but there's a certain give and take in this industry. That's One Track Mind, part of the Someone's Favorite Productions family and available wherever you get your podcasts.
Hello, my name is Kevin Tudor, and I'm one of the 3 hosts of Almost Major, a film podcast dissecting many major indie studios and the films they release. Every week, myself, Charlie Nash, and Bryden Doyle discuss overlooked, forgotten, or bona fide classic indie films via studio-specific miniseries. We've previously covered numerous films from Artisan Entertainment, Lionsgate Films, and New Line Cinema. Titles including The Blair Witch Project, American Psycho, Dogville, But I'm a Cheerleader, Saw, Requiem for a Dream, and Ringmaster, you know, the Jerry Springer film. Anyways, we have a fun time every week and we hope you will join us. Subscribe to Almost Major wherever you get your podcasts. Now proudly a part of the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network.
Thank you for listening. To hear more shows from the Someone's Favorite Productions podcast network, please select the link in the description